All right, everybody. Just getting a live stream going here. All right, everybody. Just getting the live streams going here. Bear with me one more minute. All right. We are live on Facebook. We are live on Instagram. And we are live on YouTube. Excellent. Hello, 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 everybody. Welcome to the live stream. I'm Jared with Scamware 101. Our mission here at Scamware 101 is to spread awareness of common scams that target individuals, just like you and me. We're going to get started here in a couple minutes, but some of the things we're going to cover on this live stream this evening are we're going to cover over 20 different common scams that target individuals, meaning you, your friends, your family, your loved ones. We're going to go over red flags to help you identify and prevent scams before they even start. And we're going to show you real examples of recent scams that are active and circulating. We're going to show you examples of email scams. We're going to play you recordings of phone call scams. We're going to show you screenshots of text message scams and even some snail mail scams. Scams that are being sent through the postal service. So lots of good stuff coming up on this live stream here. So while we wait for a few more people to get on, hit that thumbs up, give us a like, say hi in the chat, let me know you're watching, let me know if the sound is okay. I have the volume up a little bit more this time because someone told me it was a little lower, and then the ads come on, they're a lot louder. So we'll see if the volume issue is fixed. So let me know in the chat how we sound, and say hi. Let me know you're watching. We're live streaming on Facebook, YouTube, Instagram. So make sure to follow us on whichever platform you're watching. We need all the followers and subscribers we could get. And again, our mission here is just to spread awareness of common scams. We're trying to put something good out there into the world and help people. Because these scams that individuals are being targeted by and falling for, they're life ruining. Like, we're not talking about someone just getting scammed out of $100 here and there. We're talking about people losing their entire life savings, their entire retirement funds, inheritance, everything. Scammers try to take everything that's in every bank account you have. So they're pretty ruthless, and once they get the funds from you, it's very, very rare to get them back. So awareness is key. Being able to spot and recognize these scams before you send the scammer any money, that's critical. That's essential to protecting yourself. So anyway, we're going to get started in about 2 more minutes here. And we're going to dive right into some common scams, including arrest warrant scams, jury duty scams, bank impersonation scams. All good stuff, all important to be aware of. Again, in the meantime, hit that thumbs up button, hit the heart, give us a like, say hi in the chat, let me know you're watching. I'm going to try to respond to everybody I see, whether it's on Instagram or Facebook or YouTube. Might be a little slow responding because I am doing the presentation, but I'll do my best. But I want to hear your experiences. Let me know what scams you've been getting targeted with, what scams your friends have been getting targeted with. Share your stories. Have you fell for a scam? Do you know someone that fell for a scam? I want to hear it. Tell me in the chat. And it's all about awareness and community. Spreading the word. Hey, John, welcome to the live stream. Ooh, I see you sent me 100 for 2 joules. I don't know how that works yet. I just enabled it, so thank you very much. Whatever that is, I'll have to go check that afterwards. I think it's a good thing, right? 2 joules. Very cool. Which reminds me, if you'd like to help out financially, we have a donate page available, scamaware101.com/donate. Or if you go to our website, scamaware101.com, there's a link at the bottom here, donate or support. And also on YouTube, we have super thanks enabled and these new joules or whatever feature enabled. So you can give us a tip on there if you want, and it all goes to spreading awareness and helping getting the word out here. So thank you for that, John. We'll see what it is. Very cool. He says he doesn't know what they are. He just sent them. Hopefully they're worth hundreds of dollars. Maybe they're a couple Bitcoin. 1 joule equals 1 Bitcoin. Thanks, John. Appreciate it. Also, you can join our free mailing list, scamaware101.com. Hit join mailing list. We'll send you live stream reminders, some useful scam awareness tips. It's a good way to stay informed and updated about what's going on with common scam trends and things. So with that said, it's 5:51 actually, so let's get this started. If you're just joining, welcome to the live stream. My name's Jared. I'm with Scamaware 101. Our mission is to spread awareness about common scams that target individuals like you, your friends, your family. You know, because there's a lot of resources out there for companies, and there's a lot of employee training out there. But for just regular old folks, there's not much out there as far as resources go. And scammers are targeting individuals more than ever. And it's actually kind of sad when you hear the horror stories of these victims who they lose their life savings and they never get them back. So awareness is key, being able to recognize these scams, knowing what the scammers are doing. You know, we try to show you some examples on this live stream. This way, if you get targeted with these scams, you'll recognize right away, wait a minute, I saw this example, I know it's a scam. Right? And that's the goal here. We want you to recognize these scams before you send any money to the scammer. So again, if you're first time tuning in, welcome to the live stream. We do this every week, every Thursday, 5:45 p.m. Eastern Time. We go for about 3 hours, so you have plenty of time to hit that share button, you know, repost it on your timelines or on Facebook, hit the like, spread the word, invite some friends, because for the next few hours we're going to be going deep into scam awareness, and it's all useful, relevant, and important things to know about scams and protecting yourself and protecting your loved ones. So before we jump in, hit that like button, subscribe, hit that heart, react, whichever platform you're watching on. Let's see if we get some more people in here. You know, you could help spread awareness by simply liking the content and commenting and reacting. You know, the more engagement, the more it gets the word out there. So you could help. Hey, Dave. Welcome to the live stream. I was waiting for you. That's why I haven't started yet. I was like, I'm not going to start till Dave gets here. Appreciate you, Dave. All right, so let's dive into some common scams here. And by the way, a lot of these scams that we're going to talk about this evening, we have separate videos available on our YouTube channel as well. So a lot of these scams, you could go find the video afterwards and share it with a loved one. And while you're there, make sure to subscribe, hit like. You know, it really helps get the word out there. Because we're not selling anything. We're not making any money. We're just doing this to spread the word and hopefully put something good out there and help somebody, you know. So now let's talk about arrest warrant scams. This is a big one right now, getting a lot of attention, a lot of media coverage, and a lot of warnings coming out of police departments and sheriff's offices about this scam. Basically what an arrest warrant scam is a victim is contacted by a scammer, usually over the phone, impersonating law enforcement. The scammer claims an arrest warrant was issued and fines must be paid to resolve it. The scammer threatens the victim with arrest if fines aren't paid immediately. Right, so that could be a scary situation. You get a phone call. The person on the other end says they're calling from the sheriff's department. They'll say something like, you missed jury duty, so there's going to be a warrant issued for your arrest. All right, and then they try to trick you into sending them a payment to pay these fines for missing jury duty. But it's all a scam. And the thing about this scam that's also important to recognize is when these scammers call you over the phone, the caller ID, it could show the sheriff's department's phone number. It will show whoever they're impersonating, it will show the phone number on caller ID. These scammers, they are able to do that. They're able to manipulate the caller ID. And we know that for these arrest warrant scams, when they're calling up the victims and they're impersonating the police, they'll show the local police department's number on their caller ID. So victims think that it's real. They think, wow, this really must be the sheriff's department. That's what the caller ID says. But it's a scam. And there's also been cases of this where victims have reported receiving fake paperwork that these scammers create. They send them fake paperwork that look like arrest warrants to make it seem more believable that they got to pay these fines. And again, it can be very scary. They get these victims on the phone. They don't let them hang up. They say, if you hang up, I'm sending deputies over there to arrest you. So it could be a scary situation for somebody. So that's an arrest warrant scam. Important to be aware of those. Make sure your friends and loved ones are aware of that. If you get a call from somebody claiming there's an arrest warrant, what you do is you just ask them who's the organization that's issuing it, right? And hang up, and then you can reach out to the organization directly, if you're concerned that it's true. But you don't have to interact with the person on the phone. If they don't want to let you get off the phone and they're threatening you, it's a scam. Those are scam tactics. Don't fall for it. We have a video about this one. So you head over to our YouTube channel. You can share the video with your friends, families, loved ones. Repost it. Help us out. And in that video, we actually have some clips of warnings from the local sheriff's departments too. Some of the media attention it was getting, this scam. So let me know in the chats if you've ever encountered this scam, if you know someone who's encountered this scam. And yeah, that's the first scam of the evening we're talking about and kicking off with. Let me know what you think about that. React, give me a thumbs up. If you're just join a little late, welcome to the live stream. We're going to be going for a couple hours here. So you have plenty of time to invite some more friends and family over. We're going over common scams to be aware of. All these scams target individuals like you, me, your loved ones. We do this live stream every week, every Thursday, 5:45 p.m. Eastern Time. You can join our free mailing list on scamaware101.com. It's free to join. It's the best way to stay up to date with scam awareness news and reminders when we're going live. And we're going to go over about 20 different types of scams this evening. And right now, we're going to go on to scam number 2 here. Bank impersonation scams. So these bank impersonation scams, extremely common right now. Important to be aware of these. Many people reporting these. How it works is scammers impersonate the bank. They reach out to victims. They usually claim there's suspicious activity under a victim's account. Victims are then tricked into withdrawing and transferring funds to the scammers who are impersonating the bank. And this is another one of those cases where the caller ID will show the bank's phone number, even though it's a scammer. Right? The scammer could be located across the world in another country, and your caller ID is showing your bank's phone number. So, and that's a key point to always be aware of. Just because your caller ID says it's your bank, it doesn't mean it is. And we know that scammers are actively taking advantage of this. So it's important to be aware of that when it comes to bank impersonation scams. And we have an example of a bank impersonation scam to show you. So here's a text message scam that's impersonating the bank. And it says, verify TD Bank card activity. Did you attempt a transaction for $250 at Walgreens? Reply yes if recognized or no if not. Or stop to stop. All right, but this is a scam text message. Isn't it real? This is from a scammer. It's not from your bank. Now, there's a story behind this example that was provided to me, actually. And what's interesting is the person who provided this example to me, she actually said that she received a phone call right before receiving this text message. And on the caller ID, it said it was TD Bank. It said it was her bank. Now, she didn't answer the phone. And immediately after not answering, she got this text message. So what's interesting about that story is it shows you how these scammers, they don't just hang up and dial somebody else. They'll go that extra step to try and get you. They'll start with a phone call, right? And it'll look legit. It'll say TD Bank on it. But if you don't answer, they'll follow up with a text message. And this is an example of one of those text messages they're going to try to follow up for. And the idea is they want the victim to think, I didn't make this transaction. There must be something going on with my account, right? And they'll reply no. If they reply no, the scammer's going to try to get them on the phone and interact with them. It's going to try to get access to their bank accounts, and it's all downhill from there. So these bank impersonation scams, important to be aware of, right? And we're being targeted from all directions, too. So, I mentioned they call over the phone. They send you this text message. But there's the emails as well, right? You get these fake emails all the time that impersonate your bank. And it's important not to click those links, not to call the phone numbers that are in those emails. Because once you start interacting with the scammer and you think it's the bank, they got you. So anybody that reaches out to you claiming to be the bank, it doesn't matter how they reach out to you. All right, you need to verify. You got to go call your bank directly and confirm. So there's a couple red flags that indicate this is a fake text message. No, not really from the bank. The first one is it doesn't indicate any account number. If this had been a legit text, it would have said something like the last 4 digits of the account, right? So that was red flag number 1. Red flag number 2 was it didn't come from one of those short 5-digit code numbers. And what I mean by that is sometimes you get these text messages from banks and other organizations, and they're not from an actual phone number, from like a 5-digit code, right? Those short 5-digit code SMS numbers, right? If this had been from your bank, it probably would have come from that number instead. It wouldn't have come from a real phone number like this. So that was red flag number 2. And red flag number 3 is the capitalization in the text is off, right? So the C in card is capitalized for no reason. The T in transaction is capitalized for no reason. The N in not is capitalized. So there are little indicators like that. That's a red flag. That's not legit. When you see capitalization or punctuation or spelling, that's always a red flag when any of those are off. So again, this is an example of fake text message. It's a scam text message impersonating the bank. TD Bank was her bank as well. So a lot of times these scammers will know what bank you use too. They know these things about you, believe it or not. So they'll even know what bank to impersonate. In this case, they did TD Bank. But here's another example regarding that. This is actually a victim story of one of these bank impersonation scams. A woman from Connecticut. She said, I feel so stupid. She said, had her bank account drained by scammers after answering trusted Wells Fargo number. All right, so that's what happened in her case. She got a phone call. Caller ID said it was Wells Fargo. She thought it was. And they cleared out her bank account. And in this case, they had her send money through Zelle. They told her somebody was using her Zelle account and she needed to secure it by doing a transfer from her account. But that was the scam. When she transferred it, she was actually transferred to scammers. But they were impersonating her bank. She thought she was dealing with her bank. The caller ID showed Wells Fargo. She thought she could trust it. So important to be aware of that. These bank impersonation scams are a real problem. They're common. And you're being targeted. Text messages, phone calls, and emails. So always have your guard up and be suspicious of anybody claiming to be from your bank. Welcome to the live stream. You're just joining us. Say hi in the chat. Let me know you're watching. As we talk about these scams, I want to hear your experiences. What scams are you encountering? Have you seen any of the scams are going over? Do you know anybody that's been targeted by any of the scams are going over? These are all scams that target individuals as well. So it's important to be aware of these. They're all active currently. We're going to go over about 20 of them tonight. So we got about 2.5 more hours left. So invite your friends, invite your family, share this link, hit the like button. Let's get some more people here. We're dropping knowledge all this evening. That's all important stuff. Protect yourself, protect your loved ones from scams, right? We're live streaming right now on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. You join our free mailing list on scamaware101.com. Join mailing list. And we gladly accept your super thanks over on YouTube and your donations at scamaware101.com/donate. We'll take it. And the next scam we're going to talk about this evening, this is an important one. Really, all the ones that we're going over are important because they're active, right? They're active and they're circulating. But the one we're going to talk about right now is a tech support scam. And this one's older folks are falling for this one a lot. And these scammers, they take their entire life savings. This poor senior citizen who's living off of retirement money falls for one of these scams. They'll take your entire retirement fund. They don't care. They're targeting veterans. They don't care if you're a veteran. They'll take everything you got. They're targeting handicapped people. They don't care. They'll take everything you got. Makes no difference to them. It's very hard to get back once they get it. So let's talk about tech support scams. This is when victims usually receive a fake virus alert on their device. And they're tricked into calling a fake tech support number. The victim is unknowingly connected to a scammer who impersonates tech support, and they usually request access to the victim's device, which is always a red flag if someone's asking to access your device. So these tech support scams, again, the most common way they're initiated is you get a fake virus pop up on your computer. And the thing is, everybody's vulnerable to that. It doesn't matter if you're on a MacBook, a Windows desktop PC, or iPhone. It doesn't make a difference. If you're able to browse the internet, you could get one of these fake pop-ups. Because all they are, they're actually web pages. So they're designed to look like a virus alert. But everybody's vulnerable to that type of scam. And they make them pretty scary, these fake virus alerts. And we're going to share some examples of them with you right now. Again, as we go through these examples, let me know if you've ever come across them. I want to hear your stories. So the first example of a tech support scam or fake virus alert. This one impersonates McAfee antivirus. It looks pretty legit, right? It's got their logo, it's got their colors. Big scary letters, your PC is infected with viruses, right? And this is call McAfee helpline. But if you call that number, they'll actually be connected to a scammer. And that's one of the big red flags that you could tell that this is a fake virus alert. A real virus alert wouldn't have a phone number to call. That's the big giveaway, right? It has a phone number listed. A real virus alert wouldn't have a phone number to call. So this is an example of a fake pop-up. But if you call that number, you actually get connected to a scammer. They're going to impersonate McAfee, and they're going to try to get onto your device. Let's look at a couple more examples here. This one impersonates Norton by Symantec. Threats detected. Big scary red letters. System critically infected. If you're not able to click on this button, immediately contact support. Toll-free helpline. All right, but if you call that number, it actually connects you to a scammer. If it shows a number, it's not real. But you see how this could be convincing, right? Windows Defender. There's a fake virus alert, but it's impersonating Windows Defender. It says your PC has been blocked for security reasons. All right. Access to this PC has been blocked for security reasons. Contact Windows support. But that's not Windows support's phone number. That's actually it's going to call a scam call center. That scammers are trained to sit there all day and answer your phone calls and scam you. So if you get a virus alert or warning that says to call this number, it's fake, it's a scam, don't do it. And they'll look realistic. This is Microsoft has their logo there, has a Windows Defender logo. Right? I can see how someone could easily fall for that. So it's important to be aware of this type of scam. Now I mentioned earlier about these tech support scams that everybody's vulnerable to these. It doesn't matter what kind of device you're on, whether you're on your mobile device, your iPhone, or your Windows desktop computer. You know, as long as you're browsing the internet, you get one of these fake pop-ups. And just to show you some examples here, here's a fake one that targets Safari and Mac users. Right? It follows the same theme. Virus found, big scary red letters. Your Mac computer has 13 infections. Please call tech support as soon as possible. And then it lists a phone number to call. But if you call, it's a scam. Right? Again, that's the red flag. If it shows a phone number to call, that's how you know it's a fake virus alert. It's not real. When you call that number, it'll be connected to a scammer. Another example. This fake pop-up impersonates AppleCare. Warning, macOS is infected with viruses and other malicious applications. Viruses must be removed and system damage repaired. Call Apple support. It has a fake phone number listed to call Apple support. But it's a scam. If you call it, you get connected to a scammer. There's one more example, and this one also impersonates Mac. Warning, macOS is infected with spyware. Please call Apple support. And you see how it has Apple's logo, right? So it could look legit. But you can tell it's fake. If it has a phone number to call, again, that's the red flag. That's how you know it's fake and not to call it. A real virus alert won't have a phone number to call. So that's how these tech support scams usually get kicked off. You're just browsing the internet, mind your own business, boom, you get one of these fake virus alerts. Sometimes it plays a sound. Sometimes it'll play on loop. You've been infected with a virus. You've been infected with a virus. Right? It can be really obnoxious and scary to somebody. You know, so they get scared and calling that phone number. They let the scammer onto their device, and then it's bad news. The scammer encrypts their files, steals their bank logins. Not good. Sometimes these tech support scams, there have been cases where the scammer will reach out to the victim over the phone and they'll say, I'm with Microsoft or I'm with Apple. We detected virus on your computer. So sometimes they'll reach out to you that way too. But the most common way are these fake virus alerts that people get when they're browsing the internet. So be aware of those. Make sure the older folks in your life are aware of that one too, because again, they're the ones that have fallen victim the most to this specific scam. How are you all doing out there this evening? Say hi in the chat. Let me know you're watching. We're live stream on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube. We're going to be going for a couple more hours here, so still plenty of time to share the live stream, get some more people in here to watch. Going over all good stuff, all important things to be aware of. Scams that target you, your family, your friends, your loved ones. Right? And awareness is key. That's how you stop the scams. If you realize you've been scammed after the fact, it's too late. It's too late. And too many people are losing their life savings to these scammers. So awareness is key. Being able to recognize these scams and stop them before they start is the trick. Right? So we're just trying to do our part here at Scamaware 101 by spreading awareness. We do this live stream every week as one of the ways. We also have a free mailing list you could join. Scamaware101.com and hit join mailing list. It's the best way to stay up to date. We'll send you reminders when we're going live and useful scam awareness tips. Don't forget to follow us on your favorite social media platforms too. If you're watching on Instagram, hit that subscribe button. If you're watching on YouTube, hit the subscribe button. All right, Facebook, follow button. Wherever you're watching, hop on all three. We need them. We need all the subscribers and followers we could get. But we're going to keep on going over some more scams here. Next one we're going to talk about are road toll scams. I know you're probably familiar with this one, I would think. A lot of people got these text messages. These unpaid road toll text messages, but they're a scam. And basically what it is scammers impersonate road toll services like Easy Pass, SunPass, and Fast Track. They impersonate the DMV, Department of Transportation. Over the past year, they've impersonated so many different toll services and agencies. There's really no limit to what these scammers won't impersonate. But basically, you get this text message, and it claims you have an unpaid toll due. Victims are usually contacted by text message or email containing a link to pay. However, the link opens a fake website designed to steal any personal or financial information entered by the victim. There never was an unpaid toll due. And we first did a video about this last year. And since then, it really picked up, this scam. And at the time, we had examples where they were already impersonating SunPass, Peach Pass, Quick Pass, Good to Go, Easy Pass, Drive Easy Maryland, Fast Track. But since then, they've started impersonating Easy Drive Massachusetts, the DMV, various departments of transportation in different states. An agency called a toll enforcement agency. They just make agencies up. So, they're impersonating everybody is what I'm trying to get across here. If you get a text message claiming that you have an unpaid toll due, regardless of who it claims to be from, you have to be suspicious. And to share some examples with you here. Right. And in this case, this example, it came from an international number. It's always a red flag. It came from the 63 prefix, which is Philippines. But you can see it says, your vehicle has an unpaid toll bill. To avoid excessive late fees on your bill, please settle it promptly. Thank you for your cooperation. And then it's got the fake link to pay. Also, you'll notice at the bottom of this example, there's an instruction that says, please reply yes, and then exit and reopen the text message. That instruction is very common on scam text messages. You'll see that on a lot of the examples I'm going to share with you this evening. And that should always be considered a red flag when it has that instruction. Here's another example. Please pay your toll in Florida by January 22nd. That was this year. In order to avoid excessive late fees and potential legal action on statements. Thank you for your cooperation. Wish you a pleasant holiday. And then it even has SunPass in the fake web address. It has that instruction too at the bottom. Please reply yes and reopen. It's always a red flag. Here's an example where the text message came in, and it came from a U.S. number too. But the text message come in, and it has an attachment. That's it. There's no text or anything. It just has an attachment. Right? Which, by the way, never open attachments that you weren't expecting from someone. whether it's an email attachment or a text message attachment. Never open them if they weren't expected. It could be a virus. But in this case, it's a PDF file and it has this document attached, which is a fake toll violation notice. It has the Pay Now link here at the bottom that takes you to the fake website. But this one impersonates a toll enforcement authority. So they're targeting you in various ways with these fake unpaid road toll text messages, payment to text messages. And if you click on one of those links, you'll be taken to a fake website, but it can look realistic, right? So in this example, this is a fake website that's impersonating Washington State's Good to Go toll service. But if people clicked on that link, they'd be taken to this website. It's got a button for payment, and then whatever information gets entered gets stolen. Any credit card details entered for the payment. So again, this is an extremely common scam right now. So if you get any text message saying you owe a toll, be suspicious. Don't trust it. Definitely don't click the links. Right? If you're concerned that it's real, go look up the agency directly or check the app on your phone. But don't click links. Don't trust the contact information that's in the text message or email. It's an extremely common scam right now. In fact, this scam actually evolved a little bit. I'm going to update our agenda here because I'm going to insert this one scam here. We're going to do a fake traffic ticket scam. Right? So what happened is for the past year, we've been getting tons of these unpaid road toll scam text messages. And it was very clear that the scammers behind this one, they were using AI, generating all these different versions. But it evolved. And it went from an unpaid road toll scam, which they're still sending these around too. But it also evolved into a unpaid traffic ticket scam. Just bear with me. I'm trying to find an example here. Here it is. There's been lots of warnings about this one going around. Notice this one comes from the Philippines. Doesn't have to, but in this example, it's from the Philippines. And it impersonates the Illinois Department of Vehicles, DMV. Final notice. Enforcement penalties begin July 25th. Right, so this is only a couple months old. Our records show that as of today, you still have an outstanding traffic ticket. And according with the Illinois code, blah, 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 blah. If you not complete payment by July 24th, 2025, we will take the following actions. Right, so this is where they try to use threats to scare the victims. Right, report to the DMV violation database. Suspend your vehicle registration starting July 25th. Suspend driving privileges for 30 days. Transfer to a toll booth and charge a 35% service fee. You may be prosecuted and your credit score will be affected. Pay now. And it's got the link to the fake website. There's that instruction. Please reply yes, reopen. Red flag, it's a scam. But these are going around a lot now. It went from getting these unpaid road toll tickets to these fake traffic ticket notifications. And so there's that example. Here's another example. It's identical, but this one impersonates Nebraska. Nebraska Department of Vehicles. Enforcement penalties begin on July 21st. So these scammers, they're just sending out these texts and they're just inserting the states. Doesn't matter what state you're in. They just insert it and they target you. Yeah, and this was this is an extremely common one circulating right now. So watch out for any kind of text messages claiming that you have some kind of ticket to, whether it's for an unpaid road toll or a traffic ticket. You need to be suspicious and you need to verify. Don't trust the links. Don't trust the phone numbers. You with me? Hit that react button. Let me know in the chat if you've gotten any of these text messages. I want to hear from you. If you're watching on Facebook, let me know. Say hi in the chat. Let me know you're watching. If you're watching on Instagram, let me know. Say hi in the chat. Let me know you're watching. Give me some reactions over here on YouTube. Let me know you're watching there too. Next scam we're going to talk about. Wrong number scams. So the point of a wrong number scam, it's a way to find new victims. And it starts off with a wrong number scam, which I'll explain in a second. But once they have the new victim hooked, it evolves into a different type of scam, usually a pig butchering scam or a romance scam. But they get started with a wrong number scam. And if you've ever wondered why you get so many wrong number text messages, this is why. It's a very common scam. And how does wrong number scams work is scammers reach new victims by sending text messages to random phone numbers. When someone replies, wrong number, the scammer attempts to continue the conversation and build a trust with the victim. As trust is gained, this type of scam evolves into a romance or pig butchering scam that ultimately steals money from the trusting victim. All right, so you might be thinking to yourself, that's crazy. I'm not going to interact with somebody I get a random text message from. But they do this for a living. They're very convincing. And I'm going to show you some examples of how these wrong number scams work. And the thing is, if you even just replying to this text message, you gave the scammer something they wanted to know, right? Even if you're just tricked into replying wrong number or who is this, you already fell for part one of the scam, which was to confirm someone read it and verified it and is actively engaging with the scammer. So when you get these wrong number text messages, you don't want to reply. Look, even in the cases when I get a text message, I can't tell if it's a really wrong number or not. I still don't reply. They'll figure it out. But so wrong number scams. Let me show you some examples here. The thing that's tricky about these scams is they can start with any kind of random text message, right? It can start with something like, excuse me, is this Emma? Or, hey, Anna, I'm Josie. Or, hi. It can just start with a message that says hi from a number you don't know, right? If you reply back saying, who is this? You already failed the first part of the test, right? Because you just let the scammer know that you're active and you're reading their messages. Because they're going to target you with more scams now. And let me show you how some of these conversations evolve. Right? Starts off with a random text message. I'm Margaret. Are you Lillian? Right? The person replies back, I'm Izzy. Right? Scammer replies, I'm sorry. I think I made a mistake between your number and Lillian's number. I hope I didn't disturb your good day. Right? Victim replies back, that's okay. Scammer replies, thank you for your understanding and patience. You're a kind person. I hope you have a good day today. I'm 36 years old. Would you mind telling me your age? Right? And that's how this scam goes. It starts with like a wrong number, but then they ask about you and they try to say, oh, I'm sorry, but you seem nice. Thanks for replying. I'm 36. What's your age? Right? So that's one example. Let me show you another example. Which, by the way, if you have kids too, make sure kids are aware of this type of scam because you don't know what kind of creeps are. The examples I'm showing you usually evolve into something where they go after money, but I'm sure there's a creep version of this type of scam where they're just trying to target kids too. So as far as wrong number scams go, be aware of them. Dave just put in the chat, he received 2 in the last 4 days. Right. Yep, they're extremely common. And the best you can do is not reply at all, right? Because then they know your number's active and they're going to keep on texting you. I know Dave likes to reply. That's probably why you got 2 in the last 4 days, Dave. Because you like to reply and mess with them. But it's all good. I like the examples you send me, so keep doing it. Just don't go falling in love with any scammers. So in this example, it's on the screen, a wrong number scam. It just starts off with a random text message. It says, have a cup of coffee sometime, right? And the person replies back, who is this? Right? Well, they just reply back to the scammer. And the scammer replies, I give the whole story. I thought this was my friend Laura. I'm Zoe. Right? And the person replies, yeah, wrong number. At that point, the conversation should end. It's been established that it's a wrong number. But the scammer keeps going because it's a scam. Right? I'm sorry. I thought this was Laura's number. I think I dialed the wrong area code. I hope I'm not bothering you. Right? Person replies back, nah, it's all good. Have a great day. Again, conversation should end, but it's a scam, so they're going to keep on going. Thank you for your kindness to my situation. I just realized I entered the wrong area code. Where are you from? Right? So now this scammer's trying to get their location. Right? The first example, they're trying to get the age. This example, they're trying to get location. They're also going to ask name too. Got a couple more examples I'm going to show you here. Let me know in the chat if you've gotten any of these wrong number scams. Or now that you realize that they're wrong number scams. Seriously, this one just started with the message that says hi. I replied back, hi, who's this? I actually did this one to document the the response here. I'm Karina. Are you David? We met last week at Linda's party. Right? They always give you this weird story about meeting somebody or getting a number from somebody. I'm sorry, you have the wrong number. Oh my gosh, I checked and found out I had the wrong area code. I hope this doesn't bother you. Reply back, that's okay, no problem. At that point, conversation should end, but it's a scam, so they're gonna keep on going. Thank you very much. You are a very friendly and polite person. I hope we could be friends. Nice to meet you. My name is Karina. What can I call you? We said Pat. Could be a guy or girl if we were able to confuse him a little bit. You have a beautiful name. I'm from Malaysia and currently living in Los Angeles. Where do you live? All right, so that's how this conversation goes. At that point, we cut off the conversation. Eventually, they're probably going to ask you to continue talking on WhatsApp or download a third-party chat app. All right, that's extremely common. But the important thing is to realize that these are scams, not to reply, not to engage. And sometimes what they'll do is they'll include a picture with the text message too. So in this example, they start off with a text message that says, "Hi Byron, I'm Jane," right? And then they include a picture of a woman. And we know what they're trying to do, right? They're trying to give a little incentive to get a response, right? Some poor guy's sitting home single, he thinks it's a lucky day, right? But this is a scam. That's what they do. And you'll notice about this example, so it came in at 1:58 p.m. I didn't reply. I knew it was a scam, obviously. I wish I replied to this one so I could have documented it more, actually, but I didn't reply. And 4 hours later on the dot, it says, "Have you gotten the pictures I sent?" Right? And now the reason I point that out is because this shows, or at least is an indicator, that you're dealing with a bot right now. This isn't someone that's just sending out text messages one after the other, right? These wrong number scams and these scam text messages, they're being sent out all automatically by bots and using software, right? There's not a real person on the other end having a conversation yet. Once you answer the questions and start interacting, eventually it will hand you off to a real scammer. But initially, it's just bots. It's just software. It's just hundreds and thousands of these text messages are going out, right? It's a numbers game for these scammers. They know some people are going to reply. So we did a video about these wrong number scams on our YouTube channel. And it's actually our most watched video. We actually got over 100,000 views, which was amazing. 100K views on that video. So that was very cool. It was our first video to go viral. I'd love to get some more videos going viral soon. But needless to say, you got 100,000 views. So there was lots of comments on that video. And a lot of people commented saying they got the exact same text message, exact same picture. All right. So it's a scam. You need to be aware of it. Don't fall for it. So it's a wrong number scam. And that's the first 6 scams that we went over this evening so far. If you're just joining, welcome to the live stream. We do this live stream every week. Spread awareness of common scams. We're going to discuss over 20 different types of scams this evening. We'll be going for at least another 2 hours. So still plenty of time to kick back, invite some people over, share the live stream. Let's get some more people in the chat. Our mission here, we just spread awareness about these scams. We want you to be aware of the various scams that are circulating, and they're targeting you. They're targeting your loved ones. And these scammers, they're ruthless. They want to take everything you have. So it's extremely important to be aware of these scams so you can protect yourself. Awareness is key. Recognizing after the fact is too late. Recognizing after you send them money is too late by then. So you need to recognize it early. And we do that by sharing examples of these scams, letting you know about the tactics they're using. We create videos on our YouTube channel to help spread awareness. So definitely hop on over to our YouTube channel and hit that subscribe button and share our videos. Say hi in the chat, by the way, if you're watching too. If you want to help us out financially, we'll take it. You go to scamaware101.com/donate. And we also have Super Thanks enabled over on YouTube, Super Thanks memberships. If you want to help out that way, we appreciate anything we can get. So for next portion of this live stream, We're actually going to go over some common red flags to help you identify a scam and prevent it, right? And these red flags are super important to be aware of. We're going to go over 5, and we have a video of these red flags as well. So all the slides that we're going to show you and the red flags that we're going to talk about, we have a video that contains them where you can go and share them with a loved one after the fact. So make sure to head over to our YouTube channel, see what videos we got over there, and definitely share them. You join our free mailing list too, scamaware101.com. Hit join mailing list. Free to join. It's the best way to stay up to date with what's going on and getting scam alerts and finding out when we release new videos, things like that. So we're streaming live on YouTube, on Facebook, on Instagram. Spreading the word. Preaching the gospel of scam awareness. And you can help by hitting that like button, follow button, subscribe button. We got John sending jewels in the chat. I still don't know what they are, but I'll take them, I guess. Even though he's putting vulgar comments next to them. Anyway, let's talk about some common scam red flags. If you encounter these red flags, they're an indicator that you're probably dealing with a scammer. It's important to be aware of these. A lot of times when we hear these victims' stories, which, by the way, I commend them for coming forward and sharing their stories with us. When you hear these victim stories, many times these red flags, popped up. They just weren't aware of them. They weren't aware of them, and they didn't realize that they were a red flag, indicating they were dealing with a scammer. If they knew, a lot of times it would have been enough to stop it. So that's why we cover these red flags and try to spread awareness of these. Because if you come across these indicators when you're talking to somebody, chances are it's a scammer. So the first red flag we're going to talk about is they direct you to third-party chat app like Telegram or WhatsApp to continue the conversation. And what I mean by that is a lot of times these scammers, they'll initiate the scam through a text message. Like in that wrong number scam we just talked about. They initiate the scam through a text message or a phone call or an email. But once they have contact started and communication going, they'll usually direct the victim to continue talking in WhatsApp and Telegram. Because these third-party chat apps, it's easier for the scammer to communicate with their victims in other countries. And it also offers more anonymity for the scammer to hide behind. And plus, they're sending out these text messages from all these phone numbers that aren't going to work in a day or two. They want to get you over onto the chat app where they can continue engaging with you and trying to scam you. So some scams, that's part of the playbook, to direct you over to a third-party chat app. Romance scams. These scammers, they put up these fake dating profiles to lure in new victims. And then once they talk to the matches on these dating websites, they try to direct them to WhatsApp to continue the conversation. Wrong number scams, like we just talked about. Right? They get these text messages probing for new victims. And once they get a conversation going with somebody who replies, they direct them to continue talking on WhatsApp. And then investment scams. Direct the victim to a Telegram or WhatsApp group to pump up an investment or appear more legit. Right? You'll go over and you'll join these Telegram or WhatsApp groups. It'll be full of bots or other scammers trying to make it seem like there's interest in investment. But it's all part of a scam. Because scammers work in teams. You have to remember that. So, John, thank you for the jewels. I don't know why I put that note, but I'm going to assume it's probably something on your end. Unless you meant to be on a different site, putting that note on a different site. It's not that kind of site, John. Not that kind of site. Not that kind of live stream, buddy. Anyway, red flag number 2. They request payment. This is a big one. They request payment in gift cards, prepaid cards, cryptocurrency, or depositing cash at a Bitcoin ATM. Look, this is one of the number one red flags that we hear about when we hear about a victim story, right? Is a victim eventually, the scammer tries to get the money from them somehow, right? And they'll ask for gift cards, prepaid cards, cryptocurrency. They'll direct the victim to a Bitcoin ATM. Those are all red flags. And the reason the scammers like getting paid in these unusual forms of payment is because it's easier for them to move and transfer the funds quickly. And it's also harder for victims to recover the money after it's sent, right? If the victim sends gift cards worth $2,000 to a scammer, they're not going to be able to get that money back. The gift cards are gone. They're sent. Scammer already gets the gift cards, it clears them out, right? Cryptocurrency, as soon as they deposit that money into the Bitcoin ATM and it's sent to the scammer, they're not going to get that money back. It's gone. So it's a serious red flag, those unusual forms of payment like gift cards, prepaid cards. It's common in most scams, but some examples, where that's part of the playbook. IRS, Social Security scams. Basically government impersonation scams. If somebody's claiming to be from the government, IRS, Social Security, and they ask for payment or instruct you to purchase gift cards or cryptocurrency, it's a scam, 100%. Right now, the government does not accept cryptocurrency as payment. Eventually they might, but right now they don't. So you can rest assured, if somebody's claiming to be from the government, IRS, Social Security, it doesn't matter where. If they're telling you to pay in gift cards or cryptocurrency, it's a scam. Don't do it. Romance scams. Again, these victims meet these scammers. They think they're in some kind of online relationship with them, and the scammers request gift cards and cryptocurrency. Right? The victim thinks they're just sending a gift card to someone they're in some kind of relationship with, or they think they're depositing cryptocurrency into some kind of shared account for them to live off of together. But they're actually just sending these funds to a scammer who's going to keep it for themselves, and the victim's never going to be able to retrieve it. Even after the fact that they realize that they've been fooled by a romance scammer, they're not going to be able to get those funds back. And then bank impersonation scams. These scammers, they call up impersonating the bank or an agency that's investigating something going on with your bank, right? They'll impersonate many different agencies investigating fraud, but they'll convince you something is wrong with your bank account and to withdraw the money. And then the next step is they'll tell you to purchase gift cards or deposit at a Bitcoin ATM. It has to be a red flag in your head. And a lot of times this red flag it's the last chance you're going to get. If you don't spot this red flag, the next step is the scammers receive the money. All right. So a lot of times this is your last chance to recognize that you're dealing with a scammer. So that's red flag number 2. They request payment in gift cards, prepaid cards, cryptocurrency, depositing cash at a Bitcoin ATM. Now let me know in the chat if you've encountered any of that. We're streaming live on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube. So make sure to share this link, get some more people in here. Hit that like button if you haven't yet. All good stuff coming up, spreading awareness about scams that target regular folks, regular people like you, me, your friends, family, your loved ones. All right, you need to be able to recognize these scams. They're only getting more convincing with AI. Red flag number 3. They ask you to provide a code that was sent to your phone via text message. This is actually a very common scam and trick that's used by scammers. We see it a lot on marketplace type websites like Facebook Marketplace or Craigslist. And basically what happens is a scammer sends a text message to your phone and they request you to send it back. They might say that they're a buyer or seller and they want to confirm your phone number, right? But what's actually happening is they're really trying to open an account under your phone number. They're trying to log into an account associated with your phone number, right? There's something shady going on if an individual tells you they're sending a code to your phone. And some examples where that's part of the playbook and it's a red flag about what the scammer might be trying to really do. So they might be trying to log into one of your accounts, right? And as a security measure, you're getting that code, right, to prevent this person from logging in. But if you give that code to the person, you just allow them access to your account, right? It could be trying to get into your bank account. Password reset requests. They might be trying to reset one of your passwords, log into an account as you, right? And your phone gets that code as a security measure. You give it to the scammer, you let them reset your password, right? You should never give a code to an individual that says they're sending one to your phone. And there's Google voicemail scams. And what happens is the scammers, they want to create Google voicemail accounts to use for more of their scams. But they need to do it under a unique phone number. So what they do is they register these Google Voice accounts under a victim's phone number. And if you reply back with the code, you're allowing them to do that. You're approving the Google Voice account to be linked to your phone. And then they have a fraudulent Google Voice account linked to your phone, and they're running around scamming people. Right? That's all because you replied to somebody who sent a code to your phone. All right, so that's a big red flag. If you're dealing with an individual, especially on one of these marketplace style websites, they say they're going to send you a code. A big red flag. Don't trust it. It's important to be aware of. Hey, John, why don't you take an example, a screenshot of that for me for later? Send me a text message with it. So red flag number 4. They ask to connect your PC to assist or investigate an issue. This is a big red flag when they do that. Because it's important to remember that your device is a gold mine for these scammers, right? But most times they could extract your logins. You know, if you have your logins saved in your web browser, they could extract your logins. They can encrypt your files, hold them for ransom, blackmail you if you have personal things in there. They'll try to access your online banking accounts. They'll access any financial documents you have on your device. And they'll install software that lets them access your device anytime they want, whether you're on there or not. So scammers, unfortunately, it's becoming more common for them to try and access your device. Dave, John's in the other YouTube stream. Right, so we're seeing this more often with scams, where they're adding that to the playbook, where they try to access a victim's device. It starts with these tech support scams where they'll say they're trying to help you remove a virus, and they'll get access to your device that way. But we're seeing it more recently now with like customer support scams. They'll impersonate customer support, and they'll say, let me connect to your device and see what you're seeing. Right, so it's always a red flag if somebody you don't know, a stranger on the internet, is trying to connect to your device. Even if you were tricked into calling them. Keep that in mind. We know that these fake order scams and these tech support scams, they're kind of unique because they trick the victim into calling them. And I guess it's not so unique anymore. They used to be unique, but now we're seeing that a lot, where the victims are tricked into actually calling the scammers. But yeah, right? So you call these tech support numbers or you call these customer support numbers, you think you're dealing with a company, but you're dealing with a scammer. So look, when it comes to letting people onto your device and troubleshooting things or helping you with something, you should have someone already reserved in your mind of who you go to, right? Maybe it's the local computer shop. Maybe it's that family member that's good with computers. Maybe it's the IT department at your work, right? But you should already have in mind who you're going to go to if your computer has a problem, right? And that's how you're going to protect yourself from a lot of these situations, right? You get one of these fake pop-ups that say you have a virus, right? You're not going to call that number. Instead, you're going to call your computer guy, all right? And that's one of the examples of one of these scams where that's part of the playbook, where these scammers connect to your device. Right? These fake virus alerts, these tech support scams, they trick a victim into calling, and then the first thing the scammer does is say, let me connect to your device. I'll help you out with that virus. Right? The fake order scams where they impersonate customer support, and they're trying to assist you with, you might have gotten notified of a fake order, right? And the scammer's like, sure, let me connect to your device and see what you see. But that's part of the scam. They're just trying to get onto your device. And then, the fake fraudulent activity, the bank impersonation scams. They call you, they claim they're with an agency investigating fraud or the bank, right? And they'll ask to connect to your PC. And a lot of times once they're on your device, they'll say, hey, log into your other bank accounts. We'll check them for suspicious activity. But what you don't realize you're doing is you're logging into each bank account. Well, they're on your device and they're getting access to all your bank accounts, seeing the funds that you have and planning how to steal them, right? So never let a stranger on your device. And that's red flag number 4. They're dealing with a scammer. They ask to connect to your PC to assist or investigate an issue. And important to be aware of that one. We're seeing that one more and more these days. Let me know if you got those fake pop-ups or have ever dealt with that. Let me know in the chat. We're streaming live on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. There should be more people talking. So leave a comment. Participate in the chat. Let me know you're watching. I see Dave. I see Dave and Lewis. Don't know which one. Hopping around back and forth trying to bring some attention to each. So I appreciate that one. But yeah, I want to hear your stories. Let's talk about red flag number 5. It's the last red flag that we're going to talk about. And again, we have a video about these common red flags too. So you go check that out on our YouTube channel. You can share it with a loved one. But red flag number 5, they request that you keep the matter confidential or secret. It's extremely common for scammers to ask for confidentiality. They don't want you to discuss the situation with other people. Because the more people you talk to, the more likely you'll be told it's a scam. So they want you to stay quiet. And these scammers, they'll have these convincing stories and these reasons that they'll tell you to stay quiet. But it's all part of the scam. So for example, grandparent scams. All right, they say a relative, a son and daughter has been arrested, granddaughter, grandson, and they need money. All right, they'll impersonate the loved one, and then they'll impersonate the police, and they'll say, "Hey, your loved one's embarrassed. Don't tell anybody." Right, and that's the red flag. That's their way of trying to trick the person and not telling anybody, "Hey, listen, so and so's been arrested," because they don't want you to realize it's a scam. Investment scams. They'll tell you it's an inside tip, not to tell anybody, or a price is just for you. Don't share it. Right, but that's all part of scam. All right, inheritance scams. And we have an example of this one we're going to share with you later. But you'll get a letter that impersonates a law office regarding an inheritance. And of course, the letter's going to say, this requires confidentiality. That's a red flag. Who are they to tell you to keep it secret? It's up to you. And then there's the fake fraud, the bank impersonation scams. This one's interesting because what they'll do is when they're impersonating an agency or bank investigating fraud, they'll say, this is an active investigation. Anybody could be involved. The bank teller could be involved, right? We don't know. So it's important that you don't tell them what's going on, right? Because they don't want you to tell the bank teller what's going on. The bank teller will know it's a scam immediately, right? But they'll say, but you could impede the investigation. You could harm the investigation if you tell anybody about it, right? And sometimes they'll say you'll be held responsible. You'll be held responsible for interfering with an investigation, right? So that can be scary too. But it's all part of scam. They just want you to keep quiet. They don't want you to talk to anybody and for them to make you realize it's a scam. All right, so that's red flag number 5. They request confidentiality or keep a matter secret. Again, the thing about these red flags too, we see them a lot. It's very common. And if the victims had just been aware of them, right? These red flags are critical. If they were just aware of them, it might have been enough to stop them from becoming a victim. So again, we have a video. All those 5 red flags, we do have a video on our YouTube channel where we cover those. And if you're just joining, here's the quick summary of those 5 red flags we just covered. And again, they're also covered in that video. So, but 5 red flags that you're dealing with a scammer, right? They direct you to a third-party chat app like Telegram or WhatsApp to continue the conversation, right? They want to get you into a chat app where they could stay anonymous and keep targeting you, right? They don't want to keep on texting back and forth on a phone number that could stop working at any time, right? So they try to get you on Telegram or WhatsApp to keep talking. It's a red flag. They request payments, gift cards, prepaid cards, or cryptocurrency, depositing money at a Bitcoin ATM, right? All red flags, those unusual forms of payment. We know scammers like getting paid that way because it's easier for them to transfer money and it's much harder for the victim to recover the funds, right? So gift cards, prepaid cards, cryptocurrency, the Bitcoin ATM, all red flags. They're talking to a scammer. Don't fall for it. They ask you to provide a code that was sent to your phone via text message. It's a common scam. There's no reason an individual should be sending you a text message to your phone. It's one thing if your bank or a website you're on is sending you a text message, but if an individual that you're dealing with is sending you a text message, there's something fishy about that. It's a red flag. Now, you shouldn't be giving codes that are sent to your phone that are supposed to be secret to individuals that are asking for them, right? So, red flag number 4. They ask to connect your PC or device to investigate or assist with an issue. Right? Scammers love to get onto victims' devices now. It's a gold mine to them. They have access to logins and financial information, and so the files, access to the victim's files. They can encrypt them and steal them. It's a gold mine, right? So it's extremely common for these scammers to try and get onto your device and ask to access your device. They'll claim to be tech support or customer support, but it's part of their scam. So it's a big red flag if somebody's trying to connect your device or asking to connect your device. Even if you called them, be suspicious and rethink the situation if somebody's trying to access your device. And red flag number 5, they request that you keep the matter confidential or secret. All right? Scammers don't want you to talk to anybody. They know the more people you talk to, more likely you are to find out it's a scam. So they usually request you to keep something secret, and they'll give you a convincing reason why, but don't fall for it. It's a red flag. They're dealing with a scammer. It says 5 red flags we're dealing with a scammer. We got a video, our YouTube channel. Go share it with a loved one and make sure to subscribe and like. And let me know in the chat, have you ever encountered these red flags? And I see you watching on the live streams here over on YouTube and Instagram. So don't be shy. Let me know if you ever encountered those. I see Dorothy joined the Instagram chat. Very cool. All right, and we're right on schedule here. It's actually time for our first quick 5-minute coffee break. We've been streaming for over an hour now. So that's the first portion of our live stream. We usually take 2 quick breaks during our 3-hour live stream, usually on the hour, just to get recaffeinated and stay on top of everything for the viewers. Make sure I'm at my top peak performance and best for you all. And you can actually get a Scamaware 101 travel mug and coffee mug on our online store too. So you can help support our mission. It's on our YouTube channel store and also on our website here. If you scroll down towards the bottom, you'll see a gift shop and merch link. So get your Scamaware 101 coffee mug, travel mug. We have some water bottles on here, mouse pads. All I picked all the items that are kind of in front of you all the time that you can keep on your desk or give to a loved one for them to keep on their desk. Right? Because as a reminder, you're just about ready to click that email link scam, but then you see that coffee mug and you wait a minute, Scamaware. Right, so that's the idea. We got some stickers here too and some mouse pads and some cool stuff. So check that out. It's on our YouTube store or the link's on our website. It's just a cool way you can help support the mission over here. You can also go to scamaware101.com/donate. And we also have super thanks and memberships enabled over on YouTube as well. So with that said, we're going to take our quick 5-minute coffee break. Still got a good 2 hours of content coming up for you here. We're about 6 scams in right now, and we've got about another 14 we're going to go over. Lots of examples to share with you, all important stuff to be aware of. So still got time to share this live stream, get some more people in here. Click that like button, click that subscribe button, leave some comments, give me some reactions. Let's make it happen. And with that said, we'll be back in 5 minutes for the next portion of this live stream. right, everybody. We're going to keep going here. All right, everybody. We're going to continue with the live stream for the second portion of our live stream here. We just rounded out the first hour, going into our second hour here. And if you're just joining, welcome to the live stream. I'm Jared with Scamware 101. And our mission here over at Scamware 101 is to spread awareness of common scams that target individuals, just like you, me, your loved ones, right? Because recognizing these scams is key to avoiding becoming a victim, right? You don't want to recognize after the fact. After you've sent money, it's too late. You're rarely going to get that money back. So, as one of the ways that we spread awareness is we do this weekly live stream over here. We're streaming live right now on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. So make sure to hit that like button. Let me know in the chat that you're watching. And we got about another 2 hours or so of useful scam awareness tips coming up here. We're going to show you some examples of common scams. We just went over 6 common scams, went over 5 red flags, and now we're about ready to dive into another 5 common scams for you. And this is actually my favorite batch of scams. We're going to talk about grandparent scams, fake order scams, undeliverable package scams, fake retail website scams. All right, and these ones are extremely common and very important to be aware of. So we're going to dive into those over the next hour here. And if you haven't joined our free mailing list yet, scamware101.com, and hit join mailing list. It's free to join. We'll send you some useful scam awareness tips, reminders of when we're going live. We release new scam videos, all good stuff. Unsubscribe anytime, but I won't send you a lot of junk mail, I promise. So scamware101.com, hit join mailing list. You can also follow us on your favorite social media platforms. We're on YouTube, Facebook, Threads, Instagram, Blue Sky, X. We're most active on Facebook and YouTube. We're trying to build up Instagram a little bit, so definitely follow us on Facebook if you don't yet. And of course, subscribe to YouTube. All our videos we release on YouTube, so you definitely want to be subscribed over there as well. All right. So we're about ready to jump into our next batch of scams here. So reminder, say hi in the chat. Hi Sax1120, welcome. Welcome to the live stream. We're on Instagram. Just reminders, we go through these scams. Let me know in the chat if you've encountered these, if you know someone who's encountered these. I want to hear your stories. All right, it's all important to spread awareness and as a community and make each other aware of these different scams that are targeting people. So, with that said, let's continue with the scams. I'll stop rambling. You people aren't here to hear me talk. You're here to learn about scams, right? So, next scam we're going to talk about here is a grandparent scam. This is when scammers impersonate a distressed relative claiming to have been arrested and needing financial help. All right, so victims usually seniors, and they act quickly to assist their loved ones. The scammers often impersonate law enforcement, court personnel, and lawyers to extract even more money from the victim. Right? And this is that type of scam that should really get under anybody's skin. Right? Because it's called a grandparent scam because it targets your grandparents. It targets your parents. Or, as if your other grandparents or parents, it uses your children to bait and trick you. Right? So no matter how you cut it, this is an extremely heinous scam that everybody should be aggravated with. And think about these scammers. Once they get the grandparent on the phone and they trick them into thinking their grandchild is in trouble and needs help, right? They try to extract as much money as they can from the victim. And what I mean by that is basically scam, let me read the definition here for you. Scammers impersonate a distressed relative claiming they have been arrested and needing financial help, right? So they call you up, they claim to be your daughter, your granddaughter, your son, right? And they tell you that they need money to get released from jail. And then they tell you they need money for court personnel. And then they tell you they need money for lawyers, right? And these scammers, they imitate all these different agencies and organizations that are involved in this whole fake scam. And they just keep on going until the grandparent, your grandparent or loved one, has nothing left, right? But don't take it from me. I actually have a video here to show you. So what we're going to watch right now is a short video. And this clip is actually of a scammer performing one of these grandparent scams, right? And basically how this video was acquired is one of these YouTubers. He goes by the name Scam Sandwich is his YouTube name. He actually hacked into the scammer's computer, right? And he watched the scammer on their webcam. He watched the scammer perform one of his grandparents' scams and actually calling up the victim, impersonating their loved one, right? Impersonating the police. So we have the video here that we're going to play for you. And it's fascinating because, you know, a lot of people, they hear about this scam and they think, I would never fall for somebody impersonating my son or grandson or daughter or granddaughter. I would know if it was them. But, you know, you watch this video, don't be so sure. Because what you're going to notice is the first 20 seconds when he's impersonating that loved one, he's crying, he's impersonating them being in distress. Honestly, it could be anybody's loved one, right? But anyway, let me play the video for you here. And it's fascinating. It shows you how these grandparent scams actually work behind the scenes. And by the way, this is a scammer in the Dominican Republic.
Oh, Mom, I had a car accident.
Huh?
I had a car accident, Mom.
Is this Linda?
It's me, Linda.
Where are you?
I got a car accident.
What happened?
I'm gonna put the officer on. I got arrested.
You got arrested?
Hi, ma'am.
Yes.
Hi, are you Linda's mom?
Yes.
What I'm gonna need you to do is grab a pen and paper and write down Linda's case number, ma'am. I need you to hurry up, please, ma'am.
Case number?
It's the number 2.
2?
The letter B as in boy. Can you read that back to me?
2, B.
Now, I'm gonna read what's going on, ma'am, okay?
Okay.
Linda was involved in a car accident. It was stated in the police report. She admitted that was her fault. While she was driving, she was using her phone. That's what caused the accident, ma'am, okay?
Oh, man.
The woman that was driving the other vehicle was 7 months pregnant. We had to rush her into the nearby hospital. She might lose her baby.
Oh, really?
Yes. Now, we actually confiscated her cell phone for legal evidence, so she cannot receive or cannot make calls. This is going to be her only last call. Are you with me, ma'am?
Yes, I am.
Now, she actually wrote a note down here saying that she didn't want anyone to know about this. Let's honor her wish for right now because it's too much for her right now. That's what she's saying.
Okay.
What I'm going to need you to do, ma'am, is stay by the phone and wait for the lawyer to call, okay?
Okay.
Okay, bye-bye, ma'am.
All right, bye.
The next.
So I think that's a fascinating video because you actually watch the scammer do the whole impersonation where he impersonates the loved one who's like crying and in distress. And again, really, it could sound like anybody's loved one. And it happens real quick. He only does it for like 30 seconds, then he immediately starts impersonating a police officer, right? So I could see how someone could be tricked by that initially, right? And then he has the, you know, there's some other fascinating things about the video too. When he starts impersonating a police officer, he starts playing police scanner recordings in the background, right, to try and make it sound like it's actually a police station, right? And then he tells the victim, we've confiscated her phone, so don't try to call her, right? So that's just trying to subliminally implant into the victim's head, don't, you know, it's not worth trying to call your daughter, right? Even though if she does, she'll realize it's a scam. But that's why scammers say that. They're planting that seed to make her avoid trying to call the daughter, right? And then they do that whole red flag we talked about where they requested secrecy, right? And in this case, they said she's embarrassed, so she's asking you not to tell anybody about this, right? But that's just part of the scam. That's the part where they request secrecy because they know if you talk to someone, you're likely to find out it's a scam. So anyway, what we just watched was this guy's known as an opener. He's the guy that opens the scam. He's calling all these people and he kicks narrative off where he does the impression of the loved one and tells them, you know, I need your help and this and that. And then he says, stand by the phone, right? Then other scammers take over, right? And those scammers are known as closers. Those are the scammers that then they call back the victim. And those are the ones that get the money, right? They're the ones that they impersonate lawyers. They impersonate the court. They impersonate the police. They impersonate defense attorneys, right? They keep on impersonating all the different people that they could impersonate until the victim has no more money left to give. You know, they clear out dry. So that's how this scam works. Look, it's targeting your parents and your loved ones. So look at it this way. Even if you not only are your parents getting their retirement fund cleared out, what if you got some inheritance that's supposed to come to you, right? Well, guess what? That's going to get cleared out too. You think the scammers are going to be like, oh, no, I'm going to leave that there. They're going to take that too. So, warn your loved ones about this. Anyway, that's a grandparent scam. Important to be aware of that one. That video. If you want to see that whole video, again, it's over at a YouTuber's page. He goes by name Scam Sandwich, and the longer video is pretty funny. He confronts the guy and warns the victim, and it's pretty good watch. Oh, and by the way, the victim in this case, or the targeted victim, the guy who made the video, he was able to warn her that this was a scam. He was able to reach her and warn her not to give these people any money. So the person we just listened to ended up being okay. She didn't lose any money because of this YouTuber that tracks down these scammers and does his thing. So anyway, but that's a fascinating video. Warning about a grandparent scam. Important to be aware of, whether you're the grandparent yourself or you have the grandparents out there. What do you think about that scam? Let me know in the chats if you've ever been targeted with that one. There was a group, the scammer we just watched, he was actually operating out of the Dominican Republic. So that's where that one was located. But there's been some cases of, I think they arrested a group over in Canada a couple months ago. So they're all over. We're going to keep talking about these scams. The next scam we're going to talk about are actually fake order scams. This scam is really important to be aware of. It's extremely common. There's many different versions of it. And you're being targeted from all angles by this scam. Because in this scam, they're sending text messages. They're making phone calls. They're sending emails. They're trying to trick you in many different ways. So it's important to be aware of these fake order scams, or sometimes referred to as a fake purchase scam, that we're going to talk about right now. And we have quite a few examples that we're going to share with you of this scam too. I have a text message example to share with you. I have a few recordings to share with you. And we have a victim's story who fell for the email version of this scam as well. So let's dive into these fake order scam. Let's start off with what it is. Right? So fake order scams. Victims receive a fake notification that an order was made under their account. When the victim calls to dispute the fake order, a scammer impersonates customer support and attempts to steal their personal financial information. And not just steal their personal financial information. They're going to try to get them to transfer money, and they're going to try to get their bank account cleared out. So what we mean by fake notification is you get a text message saying, hey, an order was placed under this account. Call this number to dispute it. But if you call that number, you get connected to a scammer. Here's an example of that. This text message here impersonates Apple. And it says that we noticed that your Apple iCloud ID was recently used at an Apple store for $143 paid by Apple Pay pre-authorization. Then it says, call this number immediately to cancel this charge. Right? But that's how the scam works. If you call that number, you're actually connected to a scammer. The victim thinks that they're calling Apple support to cancel this order that was placed. But there is no order. This is the scam. It's just meant to trick you into calling that number. You call that number, you get connected to a scammer, they impersonate Apple, but then you're going to try to clear out your bank account. Right? They're going to say something like, there's suspicious activity, somebody has access to your accounts, let's take a look at that. Oh, you need to move your money, send it to this account. And it's going to be a scam. And it all gets kicked off by this fake order notification. That's why it's called a fake order notification scam. So this is a text message version. Again, it could impersonate Apple. It could impersonate anybody. In this example, it impersonates Apple. And that's why these fake order notifications, they can be tricky because they can impersonate any vendor. They can impersonate any merchant. They can claim any product was ordered, right? So it can be tricky. You have to be aware of how this scam works in general. So when you get some kind of any order notification, you think to yourself, wait a minute, let me confirm whether this is actually real or not. Definitely don't call a number. That's not how you confirm. Don't call the number because that's part of the scam. That's what they want to do. They want to get you to call the number. So that's the text message version of this. You get a text message saying an order was placed, has a number to call. Don't trust it. Don't call that number. In that case, instead, what you do is you just go check your Apple account. Don't click the links. Don't trust anything in the text message, but go check your Apple account. See if there's actually an order placed. Or call Apple directly. Again, don't trust the number in the text, but call them directly if you're concerned it's real. All right, so that's the text message version of this scam. But let's talk about the phone call version of this scam next. So these phone calls are circulating a lot right now. And I actually have 2 recordings that I'm going to play for you as examples of these fake order scam phone calls. All right, the first one, it impersonates Walmart, and it says you purchased a MacBook Pro. And it tries to trick the victim into pressing 1 to talk to the scammer. All right, and then the second example I'm going to play, it claims that you purchased a PlayStation at, who was it? Was it Best Buy? At Walmart. Sorry. It impersonates Walmart, and it claims you purchased a PlayStation. The first one impersonates Amazon. We're going to listen to one impersonates Amazon. The second one impersonates Walmart. But that just goes to show these scammers, they can assert any vendor. They can assert any merchant, and they are. Right? So it's important to be aware of just receiving a notification, whether it's a voicemail or a phone call notification or a text message notification. That's enough to be suspicious of, is this a scam? I better not call that number. Anyway, let me play the phone call, first version of the phone call for you here. Again, this one impersonates Amazon and claims a MacBook Pro was purchased under your account. So let's take a listen.
This call is to authorize the payment of $1,499 for the recent order of Apple MacBook Pro on your Amazon account. If you do not authorize this payment, please press 1 to speak to our customer support representative.
Right, so that's an example of a fake order notification scam phone call. Right, they call up. It says that a MacBook Pro was purchased under your Amazon account. And then it says press 1 to dispute this. If the victim presses 1, they get connected to the scammer. The scammer is going to impersonate Amazon, right? And they'll impersonate customer support. But they're going to try to get into the victim's bank accounts and funds. And so in that example, they said you purchased a $1,499 MacBook too. So they're trying to create some urgency, right? Someone think, oh my God, $1,500. I better press 1 and dispute this. I didn't purchase a $1,500 MacBook, right? So they're trying to create some urgency there for you to react. They want the victim to react without thinking. All right, so let's listen to the next example of these fake order notification. Again, this one claims to be Walmart, and it says a PlayStation was purchased.
We are trying to contact you concerning an unverified purchase of PlayStation 5 Special Edition bundled with Pulse 3D headset being ordered from your Walmart account for an amount of $859.50. If you did not authorize this transaction or wish to cancel, please press 1 or return our call on same number at your earliest convenience.
So that's the second example of a fake order scam phone call. And there was a big red flag. You notice how at the end it said call number displayed at your earliest convenience, right? That's always a red flag. If they can't leave a real phone number to call, and if they're instead saying call the number that's shown on caller ID, it's a big red flag. It's a scam. But anyway, that was a second example of a fake order scam phone call. It impersonates Walmart, and it says that you purchased a PlayStation under your account. And they're trying to trick you into calling back to talk to a scammer. Right? And I don't know how much PlayStations are, but I know they're expensive. So if somebody gets a call like that, they might react to, well, I didn't purchase that, and not think it through, That's what the scammer wants to do. They want you to react without thinking it through. So anyway, those were 2 phone call examples of fake order scams. They could impersonate any vendor. They can claim any product was purchased. Important to be aware of that. We looked at a text message version, right? Because you could get these text messages that claim a order was placed on your Apple account or your PayPal account. That's a common one. Right? So you get these text messages. But the whole purpose is they want to trick you into calling a fake phone number to dispute, right? You think you're calling customer support, but it's a trick. You're actually going to talk to a scammer. So we saw the text message version of these fake order scams. I played you 2 phone call examples of these fake order scams. But what about email? Right? Well, here's a victim's story. It's from about a year ago. And a 23-year-old woman reported losing $4,100 after falling victim to an identity fraud scam in July. Now, before I even dive into that, notice this is a 23-year-old woman, right? So there's this perception that it's just the older folks that are falling for scams and getting scammed, right? But it's not. So recently, the most recent FTC report that was released this year, earlier in the year, I think it was back in April maybe, their data showed that while seniors and older folks were getting scammed, right, the younger folks, middle-aged and younger folks, actually got scammed more often. The older folks lost more money because they had more to lose. They had more saved up and things like that to lose. But the younger folks are actually getting scammed more than the older folks. So it's not just the older folks getting scammed. This is one of those examples. You know, this 23-year-old, she fell for these fake order notification scams. So anyway, her story goes, started with an email claiming she had purchased an iPhone. The woman called the number provided in the email to dispute the purchase. Right, so I'm going to stop right there. That's how the fake order scam works. Right, she got notified, in this case by email. Right, could have been text or phone too, just like I played those examples. But in her case, she got the email. The email claimed an order was placed under one of her accounts for an iPhone. It's a fake order notification. Right, there was no iPhone purchased, but it's trying to trick her into thinking there was, and to call this number if it wasn't. Right, so she calls the number. She thinks she's calling a number to dispute it. Right, I didn't purchase an iPhone, blah, blah, blah. Right, she probably thinks she's talking to Apple. Right, and the person she's talking to, the scammers, they tell her that her identity has multiple accounts open, it's being used in multiple states. And then according to the police, scammers connected the woman to another scammer posing as a CIA agent, who instructed her to withdraw $3,600 from her bank account. And the next day, she was directed to use money to purchase Walmart gift cards and send photos and receipts of gift cards. Additionally, the woman sent another $500 gift card to the scammers. Right? So there's red flags flashing all over the place on this, right? First of all, it's important to be aware of these fake order notifications, right? And the fact that they're going to try to trick you in calling phone numbers. So it's important to be aware you can't trust phone numbers that you get text messaged about, that they're in emails or texts. You got to go look up the official number or check your account directly. You can't trust any contact information that these scammers include in their messages, right? And in this case, she called up to dispute it, and that's what happens. So don't fall for these types of scams that they try to trick you into calling these phone numbers. They try to trick you into thinking a order was placed under your account. And if she was aware of that scam, maybe could have prevented it. But even if she wasn't aware of a scam, you get to the red flag, right? We talk about this red flag about gift cards. Right? It's always a red flag when you're being told to purchase gift cards. And that's what happened in her case. These scammers reached out to her, and she thought she was talking to a bank and then a CIA agent, and they told her to purchase gift cards. But that's a big red flag. So if she was watching this live stream, she would have been aware of a fake order scam, and she would have been aware of the red flag of the gift cards. That's all I'm saying. And you're watching, you're listening, so now you're aware of that. So anyway, so that's a fake order scam, right? And you see how I mentioned earlier, when we first started talking about the scam, I said you're being targeted from all directions. Emails, text messages, phone calls. Right? We just saw examples and scenarios of all three. So be aware of that one, and don't fall for it. Don't trust information that you weren't expecting, in unsolicited messages or phone calls. Always verify. Dave, thanks for the super thanks. $5. Awesome. Appreciate you, man. Dave just sent super thanks over in the YouTube channel. We have super thanks enabled and memberships enabled too. If anybody wants to head over to YouTube and show some thanks, it's cool. We appreciate it. But if not, that's fine too. We just appreciate you watching and giving us a like, a follow, a subscribe, resharing our content, helping get the word out here, because that's the goal. Ultimately, you just want to spread awareness of these scams that target individuals like yourself and your friends and family, right? So we're going to keep on going with these scams here. Next one we're going to talk about is an undeliverable package scam. And by the way, if you're just joining, we're live streaming on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube. So if you're watching, hit that like button, say hi in the chat, let us know you're watching. We're going to be going for at least another hour, so still plenty of time to reshare this live stream, get some people in here. Our mission is to spread awareness about these scams, and we show you all these examples and active scams. They're all circulating. All examples I'm sharing are pretty much within the past year. Anyway, let's talk about these undeliverable package scams. We're going to be seeing a lot more of this scam as the holidays approach, so it's important to be aware of this one too. But this is when victims receive fake notifications about undeliverable packages and are asked to click a link to resolve. The link opens a fake website, usually impersonating UPS or FedEx or USPS, and any personal or financial details provided by the victim are stolen by the scammers. There never was a package, right? And we saw this one a lot towards the end of the year last year, and we're seeing this one pick up again now that it's kind of heading towards the end of the year this year. And we have some examples to show you to make you aware of this. All right, so this is what the text message might look like. UPS ground, reschedule your shipment delivery. We attempted to deliver your UPS package on June 23rd. This one actually has a grammar error, June 23rd. So it says 23th and it said 23rd. So that's a red flag, right? Every now and then you'll see these grammar mistakes. It's going to be less and less with AI. Scammers using AI now, so we're going to see those mistakes less and less. But when you see them, they're a good red flag. But anyway, the text message continues. We're unable to contact you and the delivery could not be completed. Your package needs to be signed for in person, so please reschedule delivery by doing the following. It has a link to reschedule. The link points to a fake website. It's going to try and steal your any details you enter. So we've got a couple more examples. From USPS, due to an invalid address, you have a package that needs to be delivered, but it has been suspended due to incorrect delivery address. If you do not update your address before 24 hours, your package will be returned to sender. To deliver your package, please update your address by clicking the link below, and then it's got a link to their fake website. Here's another one. The USPS package has arrived at the warehouse and not can be delivered due to incomplete address information. This one says, please confirm within 12 hours. Also, it has that red flag at the bottom right. There's that instruction. Please reply yes and reopen. That's always a red flag when you see that on a random text message. So you get a text message like this. You never want to click the links. And be aware that FedEx, UPS, USPS, they don't send text messages like these. If you get a text message like this, it's 100% a scam. None of those delivery services will send you a random text message like this. If you want to get notifications about a package, you actually have to go and sign up specifically for that package. Right? You're just not going to get random messages like this out of blue. We have a few more examples too, because these scammers got pretty creative. Here's a group text that they renamed to USPS. Right? It's sent to 4 people. It says, sent a package does not have a house number. The transportation is interrupted. Please update. It's got a link to the fake website. These last 2 examples here. They come in, they have the USPS logo. Right? Your package has arrived at the distribution facility, but we were unable to deliver it due to incomplete address information. Please click on the HTML file above. Right? Which again, mentioned it earlier, but I'll mention it again. Never open an attachment, an unsolicited attachment that you weren't expecting. Right? You get something like this. You never want to open the attachment. And here's another example. It's got a PDF attached. Same thing, USPS.com and the logo, but this one has a PDF, whereas this one has an HTML file. You never want to open any of them if you weren't expecting them. All right, but if you did, it would most likely take you to a fake website or install malware. So don't even bother opening it. If it takes you to a fake website, here's an example of what it might look like. Now, it's important to recognize that these scammers, they can make very realistic looking fake websites. It's no big deal to them. They're able to set them up real quick. They're constantly having their websites taken down, so they are constantly putting new ones up, and they're able to do it real fast. So creating these realistic looking fake websites are really no big deal for a scammer. And as you can see here, it's pretty convincing, right? They have the logo there, the color theme down. They even have a fake tracking number. All right, but any details you enter, shipping information, payment details, are going to be stolen by the scammer. So don't fall for this one. And we always see this one picking up more during the holidays, right? And towards the end of the year, because there's so many packages being sent and received by people. So when you get a text message, you're more likely to think, oh, somebody must have just sent me a package for the holidays. But it's a scam. Again, none of these delivery services will ever send you text messages like these. If you get them, it's a scam. Don't click the links. Don't trust them. don't reply. Let me know in the chat if you've ever gotten those text messages like those undeliverable package text messages. We're seeing more and more reports of them recently, so we know it's picking up again. So be aware of it, because you could be getting some soon. Right? That's why we go over this. And by the way, if you're just joining, say hi in the chat. Hit that like button. Hit those react buttons, those hearts, and those thumbs up, and all those. There are things you could do. We're streaming live on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook. So in this example of these undeliverable package scams, I just showed you a bunch of text message examples, right? But it's also important to be aware of an email version of this scam too. Whenever I'm showing you examples of text message scams, there's probably an email version scam behind the scenes as well. And vice versa. Whenever we're talking about email scams, there's probably a text message version of that scam. So it's always important to be aware that just because the examples that we're talking about are text message related, that doesn't mean that scammers aren't sending emails trying to do the same thing. So you need to be suspicious whether it's an email, phone call, text message. It really doesn't matter. You always have to have that guard up for any type of communication we're expecting. But I do have, regarding these undeliverable package scam, I do have a fun article from Wired News. It's about a year old now. And I consider this one a win here, this article. But basically it was headlined, USPS, text scammers, duped his wife, so he hacked their operation. So these scammers, these undeliverable package scammers, they duped his wife. So I guess this guy, he was an IT guy, ended up hacking the operation of the scammers. So one of the groups that sends out these undeliverable text message scams, he got some details about them. And one of the first things that the article mentions is he discovered they were sending out over 100,000 scam text messages per day. Right? And this was a year ago. Right? So they were sending out 100,000 scam text messages per day. And that was just one scam group. So it gives you an idea of what they're capable of as far as sending out text messages and why you get so many. Right? They have the technology. Right? Again, this was a year ago. They were sending out 100,000 scam texts a year ago. Think of how much they're sending out now, a year later. Another thing about this specific group was they were a Chinese language group, right? And we know that. We know that a lot of these scammers and groups, they're either Chinese or an Asian speaking area type group, for lack of better words. And as far as how successful this scam was, and again, we're just talking about one group, right? Is this specific scam, 438,669 unique credit cards. We're talking about almost 500,000 victim credit cards were stored for this undeliverable package scam. So the scams, they're successful. They were tricking people. They had over almost 500,000 unique credit cards from victims. Most people entered multiple cards. And they had 50,000 email addresses logged, including university and military or government email addresses. So that's the type of information that this guy found. So it's a win because we found out that information. He was able to infiltrate the system, but it's also scary at the same time. This was just one group that was doing that scam. One Chinese language-based group. And they were sending out 100,000 text messages a day. They had almost 500,000 credit cards with victims logged. So anyway, it's fascinating. It kind of gives you a peek of what these scammers are capable of. You don't think that you won't be a target. To them, here's another phone number that gets added to the list, and they start sending you these scams. So that's an undeliverable package scam. Important to be aware of that one again, especially as the holidays start approaching. And we have some examples here of an email version of this scam too. I'm going to show you those real quick. We were actually, Scamaware 101, we were actually the only one to report on this specific version of this scam last year. It came out during the holidays real quick, during like about a month before, during Black Friday-ish, and it disappeared right after the holidays. I'm sure it's going to pop up again soon. But we were the only ones to report on this specific one and give examples of these specific emails that were going out for these undeliverable package scams. You can see on November 22nd, Here's one that impersonates UPS. Got their logo there. We're sorry your package appears to be missing. We understand how frustrating this could be. We're actively investigating what happened. And what's interesting about this version of the undeliverable package scam is instead of saying you have to pay a redelivery fee or to click here to schedule redelivery, what they're doing is they're saying they're offering you a compensation product worth up to $100. Just click this link. So it's an interesting twist on these undeliverable package scams. All right, and this one was November 22nd, had UPS logo, but then you see November 16th, a week earlier, was a FedEx one. You can tell it's clearly the same type of scam. They got the same graphics, just this one has a FedEx logo instead of UPS's logo. We received them a week apart. And similar text, we regret to inform you there's been an issue with delivery. We understand it's frustrating. As an apology, we'd like to offer you a compensation product with $100 in value. All right, so this is just a different email version of these undeliverable package scams. A lot of us are used to getting a text message version, but there you go. You always got to be on alert for different email versions too. So just like those text messages we showed you, FedEx, UPS, they'll never send you emails like this either. And they don't offer you compensation products worth $100 either. It'd be nice if they did, but they'd be out of business if they were getting out $100 products every time a package was delayed. So anyway, be aware of those undeliverable package scams. We see them more during the holidays, so stay alert and don't fall for that scam. You'll never get an email or text message from FedEx, UPS, USPS. They don't send notifications like that, so don't fall for it. How we all doing out there? Let me know that you're watching. We're streaming live on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram. Trying to get the word out there about common scams to be aware of. All these scams target individuals. Individuals just like you, me, your friends, family, your loved ones. There's a lot of resources out there for scams that target companies and employees, right? But there's not much out there for regular folks. And there needs to be more. There needs to be more awareness of these scams because regular folks are losing their entire life savings, everything they got. Retirement fund. So it's important to be aware of these scams. Once a scammer gets your money, very rarely are you going to get it back. A lot of times the funds aren't recovered. So that's why it's so important to be aware. So you can spot and stop these scams before you send money to these scammers. And that's why we do this here at ScamAware 101. Our mission is to spread awareness. You can help by liking our content, sharing our content, subscribing, following, and join our free mailing list over on scamaware101.com. Right on the homepage, you see join mailing list. It's free to join. We'll send you reminders when we're going live, other useful scam awareness tips you can share with friends and families. All important stuff to be aware of. I see we got Uncle Frank. I've seen a lot of emails and text messages with a lot of misspelled words. Welcome to the live stream, Frank. Thank you for joining. Yeah, you know what? Whenever you see misspelled words, mistakes in grammar, capitalization, things like that, those are always good indicators that it's a scam. You can't trust it. But you also have to be alert now because of AI. It's going to become less frequent because these scammers use AI. They just generate perfect text, perfect grammar, perfect spelling, capitalization. AI is we're seeing it impact scamming a lot. So it is always a good red flag when you see misspellings, grammar, things like that. But we're going to be seeing it less and less. So, but hey, thanks for joining the live stream, man. What kind of emails and text messages was those misspellings? What types of scams are they? Like bank impersonation scams, fake? What type of scams would you say that they were? If you could think of a few. And by the way, we're on all your favorite social media platforms too: YouTube, Blue Sky, X, Facebook, Threads, Instagram. So make sure to follow us on all your favorite social media platforms. Join the free mailing list that we have here. And if you want to help out financially, scamaware101.com/donate. We appreciate anything we could get. And we have super thanks and memberships enabled over on YouTube as well. So if you want to help out that way too, we appreciate it. And yeah, so one of the ways that we spread awareness besides our YouTube channel and our many social media pages is we do this live stream every week. Every Thursday, 5:45 p.m. Eastern, we're heading into rounding out the end of our second hour here. We usually go for about at least 3 hours. So we still got some more good stuff coming up here. And the next scam example that we're going to share with you, gift card received scams, right? And this is the digital version. This is the email version where you get notified by email that someone's sent you a gift card. When the victim receives the email notification and goes to activate the gift card by clicking a link, malware gets installed on their device or a fake website is opened to steal personal information. So you need to watch out for these types of emails that are saying, hey, here's a free gift card, or so-and-so sent you a gift card. Sometimes they'll impersonate a vendor and say, dear valued customer, here's a free gift card, right? But it's a scam. And here's an example of what one might look like. You get an email. It has Venmo's logo. It says your $50 gift card is here. And it says your company has given you an employee rewards card. Activate your card today. All right, but this is a scam. This could be a scam, right? Especially since it doesn't say your employer's name or anything, right? So you receive an email like this. What you want to do is you want to reach out to the person first that's supposedly from, right? So you get this email. It says that your employer sent you a gift card. Well, before you go clicking anything, reach out to your employer and say, hey, did you send me some kind of employee rewards card? Right? You're going to want to thank them anyway, right? So it's, whether it's family member, friend, or whoever it claims to be from, you want to reach out and confirm, hey, did you actually send me this gift card? And you get thank them at the same time. Or they're going to say no, and you go, okay, it's a scam. Right? So this goes back to that rule is you just can't trust links. Whether it's through an email or a text message. Even if they say it's from an employer or a relative, you have to be suspicious and always confirm. You always confirm. I see Frank said banking and missed delivery emails and text, usually. Yep. Yeah, those are common ones. Yeah, we talked about, I think the second scam we talked about earlier on the live stream was bank impersonation scams. We showed a text message example of that one. Yeah, important to be aware of those. And they're targeting people over the phone, text message, emails. So, it's from all directions, the bank scams. And delivery ones. Yeah, we're going to be seeing more and more of the missed delivery on undeliverable ones as the holidays approach too. So, yep. Cool. Thanks for the feedback. I always appreciate hearing what scams other people are being targeted with and what they're receiving. And we're right on schedule here. We're going to jump into a couple more scams. All right. I see some more viewers watching over on Facebook and Instagram. Say hi in the chat. Let me know you're watching. Let me know how you found us, what you want to talk about. The way we format these live streams is kind of just an open, I have an agenda here on the side just to kind of follow. But if the viewers want to talk about certain scams or have questions or want to share experiences, I'm all for pivoting. And, the schedule here is flexible. The agenda here is flexible. We're going to be offering some webinars and some courses where that's more of a structured learning experience. Where these live streams, is more about interacting with viewers and regular folks, trying to get the information out there. And so even though we're going through all these scams here, we're going to talk about at least 20 different scams. I have no problem taking some time answering questions and interacting with the viewers too. So share experiences and. I'm always happy to hear about that. Yeah, free money. Yep. So Frank's in the chat. Frank's mentioning, it's always we'll give you free money. Yep. Fake Walmart emails about getting free money, free credit cards, gift card. Yep. There's so many, we're actually going to be talking about a couple more of them too, but there's so many scams where they use free this and free that, free money, to lure, people in. So it's a very common scam. Sometimes they'll say you get a free, like that free product, a compensation product we just talked about, right? In fact, I didn't show you examples of a fake retail website. I think I skipped right over that scam. Hold on. We got to go back here and do a fake retail website real quick. So I know I started mentioning it, but I think I need to bring up the actual examples to show you. So that's good. Thanks, Frank. You just mentioned a lot of stuff. It reminded me that I didn't share these examples. So back to the fake retail website scams. Look, here are some actual examples of these fake websites. And these examples I'm showing you right here, these are actually from the undeliverable package scam email. If you had clicked on that compensation product, it would have taken you to this website. And you can see here they have the fake banner across the top. They say it's a Black Friday sale, right? And they're offering you a set of wireless headphones, $175, right? They're offering it to you for free. Just pay shipping, right? Just pay $8.95 for shipping, right? So it's one of those too good to be true offers. So that's what you just reminded me of, Frank, when you said this. It's the we'll give you free money, and it's the fake emails, the free offers, right? They'll take you to a site like this a lot of times, where it's like it's a free product, but they're gonna try to trick you into paying shipping. You're never gonna get the product, but they're trying to steal your credit card details, right? Anything you entered in here is gonna get stolen by the scammer. Shipping information, payment information. You're not gonna get that free set of headphones that's valued at $175. Ah, Frank. Yeah, I'm an IT guy too, so I hear you, man. Yep, for sure. And here's another example of what that fake website's got. The Black Friday banner sale up top, right? But this one's offering you a portable heater valued $175. Just pay for shipping. But it's a scam, right? Any details you put in there is going to get stolen. And that's always a red flag too. When it's very common for these scammers to offer you a free product, but you have to pay for shipping. You're never going to get the product, but that's the hook. They're going to say, you just pay for shipping. That's how they trick you into getting your payment details. And they'll use popular items. I almost hate the fact that I've been mentioning this every week, but I kind of have to mention it, right? Labubus, right? There's counterfeit Labubus out there now. There's fake websites offering these Labubus. I know there's ones that are supposedly hard to get. I know nothing about Labubus in general, but I just know they're a hot item. Scammers know they're a hot item. And you need to watch out right now for those scams, especially as the holidays approach. I'm sure that's going to be one of those gifts that everybody's going to be trying to buy and get. So, but here's an example, right? These fake retail website and these free fake offers. This one's offering earbuds because that was a hot item, still is a hot item. So you see a lot of these scams will offer wireless earbuds. They say they're valued $175, just pay for shipping, but they'll steal any details you enter. So yeah, you need to watch out for these fake retail scams. And if an offer's too good to be true, they're claiming they're going to give you something for free, you have to be suspicious, right? Especially if it's a product worth $100, $200. Right? It's probably too good to be true. Do some research. You got to see if anybody's ever purchased off these places before, and people ask me, how do you land on these fake retail websites? Well, you can land on them in a lot of ways, right? Email, like we talked about, the fake emails you get with fake offers or free products, and they can direct it to these fake retail websites, right? But then there's also ads on social media, right? Scammers purchase ads just like anybody else does. So just because you see an ad on Facebook or Instagram or YouTube, whichever social media platform you're watching the stream on right now, just because you see an ad on there doesn't mean you could trust it, right? You'll see these ads offering these free products, but they take you to scammer websites. There's really no protection or anything in place, until people start reporting the site. And by then, how many people got scammed. So point is, be suspicious of ads you see on social media. Scammers purchase those just like anybody else. Sponsored listings on Google search results, right? Scammers purchase those too. So just because it's a sponsored listing, it doesn't mean you could trust it. And there's ads on third-party sites. You could be on a third-party site that you know and trust and is legit, but they could be using a third-party ad provider for their ads. So you'll be on a site a news website, for example, that you know is a legit news site, right? But their ad provider might insert a scam ad because somebody purchased a scam ad through them. So you always have to be suspicious about landing on websites that you've never heard about before or used before. Fake retail scams, got to watch out for them. Oh, Frank, man, you're on it, man. You mentioned those the tech support scams. We covered that one earlier too in the live stream. I showed a bunch of examples of that one, and on our YouTube channel, we actually have a video about that one, which shows you a bunch of examples. In fact, you mentioned you're in IT. I was recently contacted by an IT company, and they asked if they could use some of my videos just for training purposes. I said sure. Right? They're right on the YouTube channel. They were asking about the CAPTCHA, the fake CAPTCHA video. Click fix that everybody's getting tricked by these days, right? So we have a video about that one, and we know that company's using them for training. And yeah, so if you're in IT, you might want to go check out some of our videos too. We have the tech support scam video, shows like 10 different examples of those fake pop-ups. Right? We have the click fix and the fake capture video. So that might be worth adding to your company training materials. So check that out. It's on our YouTube channel, and definitely subscribe and you share them. Cool, appreciate it. Let's talk about some more scams here. The next one we're going to show you. Yeah, so, well, real quick before we get into that. So a lot of scams that I focus on here, they're targeted towards individuals. But as you can see, some of them, it's important for companies to be aware of too. So the click fix, the fake capture scam, that targets individuals and employees. Same thing with the fake tech support scams. It targets employees and individuals. So a bunch of the scams we covered too could also apply to business as well, even though our primary focus is individuals. We just want everybody to be aware of these scams targeting them. You don't really learn about grandparent scams in the company training, materials. But anyway, so next scam we're going to talk about here, Social Security scams. Basically impersonation scams. The scammers call up a victim or send an email or a text message, right? And they impersonate Social Security. And a lot of times they'll claim that there's problems with the victim's number or benefits, maybe a payment or a bank issue that they'll use to try and trick the victim into revealing their bank account details or credit card details or such. Or a lot of times look at these fake emails that it'll say it's like a statement from Social Security or an update and click a link. Right? So you have to be, we know that there's different variations of these Social Security impersonation scams, whether they're phone calls, emails, text messages. Scammers are using them all as far as this one goes. So always be suspicious of any communication claiming to be from Social Security. And the example we're going to share with you is actually an email example of a fake statement that claims to be from Social Security. But again, be aware of phone calls that were unsolicited that claim to be Social Security, because that's extremely common too. Lots of scammers are calling victims and claiming to be from Social Security. But in the email we're going to show you here, I'm going to show you what it looks like on a phone first, and then I'll show you what it looks like on a computer. Because on a phone, it's actually kind of hard to detect that it's a scam. So as you can see here on the phone, just as Department of, you can't really see the full name or the email address, right, unless you click on it. And then in the body of the email, it says, get your new information now. To see your statement, please download the file from this link. And it looks like the link points to ssa.gov. At least the text says ssa.gov, right? And that says, thank you for using the Social Security Administration services. Please do not reply to this email. And then we hope you find your new statement useful and informative. Right? So to the untrained eye, somebody on a phone might go clicking this link. But this is a fake email. This is a scam email. And it's only impersonating Social Security. It's not real. Right? So now if you look at this email on a computer, you can see a little bit more details. First of all, you could actually see the email address, the full name and email address. And that's a giveaway right there. That's not really from Social Security. It's actually from an email address outside the country, kenya.co.ke. Right? And then that link that looks like it was pointing to ssa.gov, if you hover the mouse over it and you see a preview, it actually points to a completely different website. It doesn't point to ssa.gov. Right? So they're trying to trick the victim by making it seem like it points to ssa.gov, but behind that link, it actually points to a completely different fake website. So this is just an example of a Social Security impersonation scam you might get. Sometimes they claim there's problems with your account. They try to trick you into entering bank details. Other times, in this case, this would probably install a virus. This is probably trying to trick you into installing malware, because it has that note at the bottom where it says this file works on computers only. Right, so it's probably going to download a virus onto your computer if you click that link. So be suspicious of anything coming from Social Security, claiming to be for Social Security. And just to give you an idea how widespread and what an issue this Social Security impersonation is, this is an actual picture of a real envelope received from Social Security. Right, this is a real envelope that has Social Security's logo on it, and But on their envelopes that they actually send out to people, they have warnings actually on the envelope where it says scam alert. Scammers are pretending to be government employees. They may threaten you and may demand immediate payment to avoid arrest or other legal action. Do not be fooled. Hang up. Do not give them money or personal information and report the scam. Right? So Social Security, they realized this has been a problem to the point where they actually had a bunch of envelopes, printed that have this warning on it to warn people. So, and then there's plenty of warnings on their website too. Warnings about email scams, text message scams, snail mail scams. So, need to be suspicious of any kind of Social Security unsolicited contact or communication claiming to be from Social Security. And one other note, too, is scammers pay attention to what's going on. They pay attention to the trends and the news and the media, right? So whenever there's like changes being discussed about Social Security or an update happening with Social Security, scammers take advantage of that. They know that people are already thinking there's going to be things going on with their Social Security. So scammers start sending out emails, impersonating Social Security. Victims are more likely to believe it because they think, oh, well, I heard about on the news there's going to be something with Social Security. Now I got an email about it. Let me click that link. So scammers pay attention to what's being talked about and what's, popular topics and items for to sell people on fake retail site, right? Scammers pay attention to this stuff. So be aware of that. That's Social Security impersonation scams. Next one we're going to talk about here. Let's talk about a couple IRS, tax type scams here. And the thing about IRS impersonation scams is very similar to Social Security scams, like these government agency impersonation scams. We have reports of phone calls, right? The scammers call up victims claiming to be the IRS, right? Emails, the fake emails that go out trying to trick victims into clicking links, just like we looked at for a Social Security one. And there's text messages too. So any communication claiming to be from the IRS or tax related at all, be suspicious of and make sure to go through official channels. Don't trust links, emails, any contact information that's included in these unsolicited communications. And the example, before I show you the example of the IRS impersonation scam, when they impersonate these tax authorities, sometimes they'll claim the victim owes taxes, right? Or you got to pay immediately. Or they'll say that there's a problem with their billing information or payment details. Similar to Social Security scams, we're just trying to trick the victim into giving away bank details or credit card details. Sometimes, and this is always a red flag, if they tell you to purchase gift cards or cryptocurrency, they say you owe back taxes, you need to pay cryptocurrency or gift cards is a scam. We talked about that red flag earlier. I mentioned gift cards, cryptocurrency is always a scam. If it's a government agency, making that request. But, so phone calls, impersonating the IRS, claiming there's an issue, be suspicious. Emails, any emails, claim your statements or problems. Don't click the links. Instead, just go directly to the irs.gov website. Don't click the link. Just go directly if you want to check anything. But the example we're going to show you is actually a text message scam that impersonates the IRS here. And this was actually provided to them this year. This is from this tax season. It was a scam that was going around this year. The IRS specifically warned about it. And this example on my screen was actually taken and provided and taken from them. So this text message, how this scam works is it impersonates the Internal Revenue Service at the top. You are eligible to receive a $1,400 economic impact payment. Please provide your accurate personal information. We will deposit the amount into your bank account or mail a paper check within 1 to 2 business days. Right? And it's got the fake website link. So see what it's doing here? It's saying that you're eligible for a refund. You get paid $1,400. You just got to make sure to click this link. Make sure your bank account's right. Right? And it tricks the victims into, oh man, I better go enter my bank account details. I want my $1,400. But it's a scam. There is no $1,400 economic impact payment this year. And if there was, it wouldn't be getting sent via text message. And I'm quoting the IRS. That's what they specifically said regarding this scam. They wouldn't be sending out text messages about it if there was. So if you get this text message, know 100% it's a scam. And for most matter, pretty much any text message that you weren't expecting and that was unsolicited, chances are it's a scam if it's tax related or impersonating the IRS. And notice on the example it has that instruction at the bottom where it says please reply yes and then exit and reopen the text message. Right, that's always a red flag too. You see that little instruction at the end of the text message, it could be a scam. So that's a IRS impersonation scams you need to watch out from, especially during tax season. But even after tax season, there's some scams to be aware of, like these tax forgiveness scams. And these tax forgiveness scams, they don't call you up impersonating the IRS. Instead, they call you up impersonating a tax forgiveness service or an accountant. Right? And I'm going to play you some examples of their scam phone calls that are circulating right now. And basically what they're doing is they're calling up random phone numbers. Right? It's a robocall. It's a recording. But they're calling up and it's claiming that you owe back taxes. Right? It says the same thing to everybody. Same recording. Same to everybody. You owe back taxes or not. It opens up with you owe back taxes. Right? So it tries to scare you right off the bat. And then it says, but you're eligible for tax forgiveness. But you got to call back within a week. So they're trying to force urgency. And there's lots of these tax forgiveness scam phone calls going around right now. So be aware of that. I'm going to play you a couple examples. So let's take a listen to one of them right now.
Hi, this is Lindsay Carter from the Activation Department. Give me a call back at 833-850-2527. Our records indicate you have some back taxes owed. You're now...
I'm going to restart. That was a little low. I'm sure you guys can hear it. I'm just going to restart that one.
Hi, this is Lindsay Carter from the Activation Department. Give me a call back at 833-850-2527. Our records indicate you have some back taxes owed. You're now eligible to apply for them to be forgiven with the Zero Tax Balance Program. Any back owed taxes can be enrolled to be forgiven through this program. But we do need to sign up this week. Just give me a call so we can start the process. It's really quick, and I'll keep your file open here. So my number is 833-850-2527. If you've already resolved this, call back and press 2 to be removed. Can't wait to speak with you. 2.
I've been getting tons of those calls. Tons of people have been reporting those calls to me. Lots of different variations going around. And what was interesting about that call is I want to give credit to AI because it sounded really realistic. It sounded like a real woman on the end of that phone call saying, I have your file on my desk and I'm going to keep it open here, but you got to call us back. It sounded very realistic, and that's what AI is doing now. AI is able to make these realistic sounding calls. But there were so many red flags in that recording. Like, first of all, it just opens up with, you owe back taxes, so it tries to scare you, right? And then they're telling you only got a week to resolve it in the callback. So they're trying to scare you into calling back. And look, at the end of the day, if you're getting phone calls like this and you think that you might be eligible for tax forgiveness, reach out to a real accountant, right? Don't deal with these companies, these shady scam companies that are trying to scare you into calling them back, right? You don't want to do business with those people, and you don't want to trust anybody that's doing that, right? So when it comes to anything accounting-wise, IRS, taxes, right, reach out to a real accountant. Don't go trusting these random phone calls that claim you owe back taxes. And we're going to listen to one more example of that call, of another one of these calls here. And this one's funny because this one, it's a recording. It's a long recording, but it has pauses after asked questions because it wants the person on the other end to think that they're listening to you. They don't want you to realize it's a recording, right? So I get this call. I stayed silent the whole time. I wasn't answering the questions. So when you hear this recording, you're not missing on anything. I just literally just sat there and hit record. So you'll hear the pauses in this fake, impersonation phone call that's pretending to be a person listening. But let's take a listen to that one. Here you go.
Hello?
Hello. I can hear you now. My name is Anthony. I'm actually one of the assistants to the director for the National Tax Relief Program. How you doing? Great. So listen, I've personally been tasked with reaching out to make sure you received information about a brand new federally approved program designed to help people who may be dealing with tax debt. It's called the Tax Dismissal dismissal program. It's something that's helped thousands of people reduce or sometimes even completely eliminate what they owe to the IRS. Can I ask you, do you currently owe any back taxes at the moment? Okay. Do you have any unfiled tax years or any unpaid back balances? Okay, great. Let me get you this updated information. You're just going to hear a brief recording.
Okay, so this special program has been recently approved.
So I'm going to stop it there. But see how the first 50 seconds, it's just a recording, and it's designed to try and trick the person who answers the phone into thinking, somebody's actually on the other end listening to their responses. So it does that for about 50 seconds, and it's like, that's great, let me send you over the recording now. But it's a scam, it's a trick, right? You don't want to deal with these people that are trying to trick you anyway. So be aware of these tax forgiveness scams. A lot of them are circulating right now. How are we all doing out there? See a lot of people watching. Good to see everybody. Say hi in the chat. Let me know you're watching. Hit that like button if you haven't yet. Give us some reactions. Give it a thumbs up, that heart. See if we get some more people in here. We're spreading awareness of common scams. If you're just joining, I'm Jared with Scam Aware 101. We do this live stream every week to try and spread awareness of common scams. Scams that target individuals, just like you, your friends, your family, your loved ones. It's important to be aware of these because a lot of times, you realize you're scammed after the fact. It's too late. You can't get that money back. And these scammers, they want to take everything you got. They don't just stop with $100. They try to clear out your bank account. So awareness is key to preventing and stopping scams. And that's why we do this live stream. It's one of the ways we try to spread awareness of these scams. We also have a free mailing list that you could join. Definitely check out our mailing list here on our website. It's scamaware101.com, and you get join mailing list. Again, it's free to join. We send out updates, let you know when we're going live, and let you know when new content goes up and some useful scam awareness tips and warnings. We don't blast you with emails all day long or anything like that. So, but you can unsubscribe at any time. But we don't abuse it. It's safe. Go join our mailing list. It's free. Scamaware101.com. If you want to donate, we'll gladly take donations. I pretty much run this out of pocket right now. We're not really selling anything or making much money yet. We got some courses and webinars coming soon. That's the goal. But for now, I'm just doing this all out of pocket. So gladly accept any donations. Scamaware101.com/donate. And we take those super thanks and memberships over on YouTube as well. So it's little ways you can support. And check out our merch store. We have a link here on our website at the bottom. It says gift shop merch, or it's on our YouTube store. Right, same thing. And we have some products here you could buy and help support the mission. And they're all products that they're designed to stay on your desk, right? Like mugs and water bottles and mouse pads. We have some stickers here. But the idea is that you have these things on your desk, and it's a constant reminder not to get scammed. Always be aware and alert for these scams. So buy a mug, buy a travel mug, some stickers, some water bottles, some mouse pads. Hey, Frank, why don't you buy a bunch of mouse pads for your IT department? But it's one of the ways you can help support the mission over here. And of course, like, follow, subscribe. We're on all your favorite social media platforms. Next scam we're going to talk about here. I've been calling it a discount scam. It's actually like a discount gift card scam. In fact, Frank, if you're still watching, let me know if you heard of this one, because this one's an interesting one. You might get a kick out of this one. So basically how this scam works is you get a phone call and they're impersonating your internet provider. I guess they could really impersonate your cell phone provider too if they want to. But in the example here, they impersonate your internet provider. In this case, it could be Comcast. Right? And how this works is you get a phone call, they're impersonating Comcast, and they say that your 50% promotional discount expires today. So your bill's going to double, right? And the call back to discuss. So they try to scare the victim to think, oh man, my bill's going to double. I better call him back right away, right? And they call back this number thinking that they're calling Comcast, right? And that's how this scam works. They want to trick you into thinking you're calling Comcast. So I'm going to play this recording first, and then I'll go into what happens next if you call back this number and how his scam works. Hey, Nigella, welcome to the live stream. Always good to see you. We're just going over this fake Comcast scam. And just because we're sharing the Comcast example, look, I'm sure there's ones that impersonate Verizon or Optimum Online and all these other services too. So it's important to be aware of that as well. But let me play this recording for you. This is an example of how a scam gets kicked off. And you should ignore any calls they receive like this.
Hello. This voicemail is from Comcast Xfinity. Your current 50% discount on your monthly bill will expire by the end of the day. To maintain your reduced rate, call the number on your caller ID immediately. This is your final reminder to act. Call back now. Thank you.
There was that red flag, right, where it says callback number on caller ID. They didn't even leave a real number to call, and that's always a red flag when they say that. But basically, so there you go. You get a phone call. It says your 50% discount's going to expire to call this number, right? So you think, okay, I better call this number and find out what's going on. You think you're calling Comcast or your internet provider. What happens, once you get on the phone with them, this is an interesting gift card scam. Once you get on the phone, they say, oh, yeah, so that promotion, it's expired and your bill's going to double. But we have a new promotion going on with Target, where if you purchase a Target gift card, a $500 Target gift card, and you send that to us to pay your bill, we'll still apply that same promotional discount. So go to the store, buy a $500 Target gift card, send us the payment, that gift card as payment, and you still get credited that discount for the, on your future internet bills or whatever case, whatever I say. But that's how they trick the victim into purchasing that gift card. They tell them you can still get the same promotion, but you have to pay with the gift card instead. So run over to Target, get a $500 gift card, send us that gift card. It pays for your next 6 months of service at that rate. Right. So the victim goes, purchases a gift card, sends it to them, right, and then next month they get their internet bills. It's still the same as it was every month, and they're confused because they thought they paid the next 6 months of internet. So it's an interesting scam to get $500 out of someone. It might go down to even, and the thing, so also something that I don't mention this much actually, right? So even though this example, it seems like it's just like they're tricking into purchasing a $500 gift card, right? So you might think to yourself, well, even if you fall for this one, at the end of the day, $500 is a lot, but at least it's not your life savings, right? But the thing is, once you fall for these scams, you get added to a suckers list, is what they call it, right? So you fall for this scam. It's like your personal record that's sold on the dark web between these scammers. Now it's got a mark on it. It says you fell for this scam, right? That means that you're an easy target. You're a sucker. Now they sell your information to other scammers to target even more. So even though you just fall for this scam where it's like, okay, you lost $500, not the end of the world. Like it could have been a lot worse, right? It's still, because you fell for this scam, now you're probably going to get targeted a lot more by other scammers. So you never want to fall for these, even the ones where they seem not life ruining. You still have to be aware, and you don't want to fall for them. It's not worth the risk. So. Yeah. See, so Frank mentions, oh yikes, to the untrained ear, I could see why some people could get scammed. Yep, that is, yeah, right, and that's a lot of it. To the untrained eye, untrained ear, like people that they're not familiar with this, or they want to think that a scammer would go that far, right? Really, a scammer would go that far to have me go to a store and purchase a gift card and impersonate this person. Have me call, yeah, they do. That's what they do. That's what they do for a living. All right, cool. So we're at the, let's see, we start at 5:45 p.m. Eastern time. We're about, 2.5 hours in here? A little under 2.5 hours. So it's time for that second coffee break. We usually just take 2 quick 5-minute coffee breaks during the live stream. We already took one. We're taking our second one now. Got to stay caffeinated for my loyal viewers out there. Always stay at the top of my game. Fill up my Scamaware 101 coffee traveler mug, which is available on our YouTube store. So we're going to take a quick 5 minutes, get recaffeinated, come back. We got a lot more scams coming up for you here. Let me update the schedule here. So next batch of scams. Let's see how many we got. 4. So we got 4 more scams specifically that we're going to discuss and show you examples of. And these are actually snail mail scams. We're going to show you 4 examples of those. We're going to talk about QR code scams too. But it's important to be aware of these snail mail scams, guys. Don't underestimate traditional postal mail. People think that it's more personalized. They receive that at their house. They could trust it. But you have to be suspicious of snail mail too. And we're going to show you a couple examples to be aware of. You know, like the other examples, these are all recently active examples too. So, still some good stuff coming up. If you haven't hit that like button yet, hit that like button. Give us a react. Like, share, follow, so we get some more people in here. We might be going for like, let's see, maybe I'll go for another hour. We'll see how we're going for, we're going for at least another hour. What am I talking about? We'll be going to at least 9 o'clock probably. So. All right, cool. 5 minutes. We'll get back. Stay tuned. Make sure to hit like, invite some more people here. All right, everybody. All right, cool. We're back. That was our second and last 5-minute coffee break. Just getting recaffeinated here. Fill up the Scamware 101 coffee travel mug. Available on our YouTube store. And we should go the rest of the live stream for next hour or so. For the remainder of the live stream, will be uninterrupted. So we still got some good stuff coming up. We're going to go over some more scams. Let me check. Let's see what's going on in the live stream chats here. All right, I see Sny or SNY showing Instagram. Don't know if you're still there or not, but if you are, thank you for joining the live stream. Say hi, let me know you're watching. Got some people watching on Facebook too, so don't be shy. Say hi in the chat. Let us know what you want to hear about. I want to hear your stories about what scams you've encountered. Now we're going to keep going here. We're streaming live on Facebook, YouTube, and Instagram. If you're just joining, I'm Jared with Scamware 101. Our mission is to spread awareness about scams that target individuals. Like you, me, your friends, your family. These are scams that everybody should be aware of. Be able to spot and protect yourself from. We do this live stream every week as one of the ways to spread awareness. We also have a YouTube channel and various social media pages where we spread awareness of scams. You can join our free mailing list on scamware101.com. Join mailing list. And also you can find links to our social media pages here. Facebook, Threads, Instagram, X, Blue Sky, YouTube. Make sure to hit that like button, subscribe, and follow. Help us spread awareness about these scams. Just trying to put something good out there. And you could help by liking and following and sharing and all that good stuff. So I see Frank mentioned they love the older people. Unfortunately, I feel bad for the older people nowadays. Yeah. Well, and the things with the older folks, I was just mentioning before, I don't think you were here yet, but in the report from the FTC this year, I think they released it back in April. They release a report every year on scams and with some statistics. And the report said that younger folks, like middle-aged folks, actually fell for more scams than the seniors and older folks fell for. It's just that because the seniors and older folks had more money saved up and more to lose than the younger folks, they got hurt a lot more. But as far as falling for the scams, at least according to that report, the younger folks actually fall for more than the older folks do. It's just it's more devastating to the older folks because, they lose their entire life savings and retirement, which is crazy. It is terrible. And Dave says, I received a toll letter that was not a scam. Fortunately, the license plate and vehicle's picture were incorrect. Of course, I disputed it. So that's funny. So it wasn't even you. It was still a scam. It was just a legit scam from the toll place trying to scam you. Nice. So it was good. We had I can't tell you how many times in Jersey, back in the day, I'd be driving through the tolls on the Parkway. I throw a quarter or whatever it was, a couple quarters into the toll booth meter, and it doesn't register. A couple weeks later, you end up getting a ticket in the mail. It's got a picture of the car. So I was like, dude, I threw the change in, man. I threw the change in so many times. Luckily, most of the times I call up dispute it, they were good, but so many times. The reason we bring that up to anybody else that's just joining is because the common scam is the unpaid toll scams. Unpaid toll scams or unpaid traffic ticket scams. You get these text messages, and they claim you have an unpaid toll or a traffic ticket too. They try to trick you into clicking a link, and it steals whatever information you provide. So Dave's mentioning in the chat, he finally got a toll letter that wasn't a scam, at least from a scammer overseas. But anyway, let's continue with this. We got a few more scams we're going to talk about here. So in this portion of the live stream, we're going to talk about some snail mail scams. Because believe it or not, snail mail scams are still a thing. I think we've all kind of got so comfortable with getting scam emails and text messages now, we kind of forget the scammers still use traditional mail to target people. So the first snail mail scam we're going to talk about, we're kind of got to do a segue into QR code scams during this, is a free gift or postcard scam. Well, free gift postcard. You get a postcard that offers a free gift. All right, and it's an actual physical piece of paper, postcard, where it arrives in your mailbox. All right, this kind of goes back to that whole free gift thing we were talking about earlier. When a lot of scammers, they offer free this and free that. It's like that too. You get a postcard. It says, get your free earbuds. Scan this QR code. And here's an example. There's an example of a postcard that you could get in your mail. And notice how it offers free wireless earbuds, just like that other example of the fake retail website, because scammers pay attention to what items are hot, which items are popular, and they use them in their scams. So that's why we see a free earbuds example in that the fake website offer and the postcard offer. This is a good example that also shows it has a QR code as well. So the fact that QR codes can be used now, that can be scanned and bring up websites, that kind of brought new life and brought all these old traditional snail mail scams. It kind of made them more popular again. Because back when they originally had them, you had to get people to go typing in a website address or whatever. Now, someone gets a letter, they include a QR code to scan it. So we're seeing a rebirth of these snail mail and traditional postal service scams now. So, but anyway, you get a postcard like this offering you a free product, or says you won a lottery, right? Be suspicious. You need to be suspicious when it comes to QR codes. In fact, I'm going to take a little detour here, and we're going to talk about QR codes a little bit more. I'm going to just update this real quick. Good. You know what? I'm meaning to talk about QR code scams more, so I'm going to give them their own section here, and we're going to dive into them. Shouldn't take that much of a detour. All right, so let's talk about QR code scams. Oh man, so Frank, the examples I'm going to show you are pretty recent. Yeah, so we're going to get to them. Okay, so let's talk about QR code scams, right? So the example we're looking at right now is the postcard example. You get a postcard in the mail, it's actual traditional mail. It's got a QR code on it now where it says scan this for your free earbuds. In this case, if you scan that code, it's going to take you to a fake website. And the person that submitted this example, they said that the website's going to try to steal any of your personal details. They enter name, address. He says Amazon account information and your credit card. So, you get some random postcard like this in the mail. It's the same as an email. You want to trust an email saying free gift? You shouldn't really trust a postcard either. Right? So, especially when whether it has a QR code or not. It's just, now that they have QR codes, it's kind of becoming like standard practice to include that. So, which is why this is worth stopping for a minute and focusing on QR codes. You should treat QR codes like links, because that's what they are. They just take you to a random website, right? So you need to treat them like links, as in you don't want to go scanning them randomly and clicking on them randomly and trusting them, right? You want to try to avoid them if at all possible. And as an example, I'm going to use the QR code that's on my screen right now as an example, right? So if you want to donate, scamaware101.com/donate, right? I have the QR code on the screen, but you'll see the URL. I have it listed right under the QR code. So you don't have to scan the QR code. If you want to donate, you could just go directly to scamaware101.com/donate. I have it right there under the QR code. So you could skip the QR code altogether and just go directly to our website, right? And that's the safe thing to do when it comes to QR codes, right? You don't want to just trust any QR code that you scan in public. If the website is listed under it, where it's supposed to go, right? And it's the website itself is a trustworthy, then go directly there. Avoid the QR code altogether. The safest QR code is one you don't have to scan, right? That's what I say. So, but let's talk a little bit more about some QR code examples here. I'm going to do this off the top of my head and see which examples I have that I could share with you too. Brushing scams. We did a video about brushing scams. They always come up during the holidays because it involves receiving a package. Right? You get a package or envelope physically delivered to your house, and it contains a worthless item. It might contain like a keychain or a ping pong ball or flower seeds. A very cheap item that's only costs a couple cents, right? And what happens is these scammers, what they do is they want to leave fake order reviews. So what they do is they place these fake orders for these items. They're just worthless envelopes of junk that get sent out, right? Whatever the order said it was actually supposed to be is irrelevant. It's a cheap item that's getting mailed out to the supposed customers, right? And then they leave a review. But what they do is they just plug in some random person's information. They don't use their credit card. It doesn't necessarily mean that they have the person's credit card or anything like that. They just put in somebody else's information when they place the order, right? This way, now they can leave a review. So this random person, they'll get this package in the mail, and it has no return information, no details who it's from, right? And it's a trick that these scammers use to leave fake reviews online, right? Tough to explain. We did a video about it, breaks it down a little bit more, but it's known as brushing scams. What does this have to do with QR codes? Well, a lot of times these QR code scams get referred to as brushing scams. And what it is you receive these envelopes, no idea who sent them. It's got a weird item in it. You're like, why would somebody send me a keychain ring or a ping pong ball, right? You don't know what's going on. And the only thing in that package is a QR code, right? Then it says who it's from, right? And what happens is you scan that QR code, and now it installs malware on your device, right? So they call it a brushing scam, but it's actually two things. It's to leave reviews, and sometimes there's a malicious QR code just as an extra way to scam you. A little long-winded talking about that type of scam, but the point is, if you receive some package in the mail, it doesn't have any return information, no details about who it's from, right? It just has a QR code to scan. Be suspicious, because that's what these scammers do. That's how they get you to scan it. It'll say something like, scan this for details. But if you scan it, you get malware installed on your device or a virus installed. So it just goes back to that rule about trusting unsolicited QR codes that you receive. The same thing like unsolicited emails that contain links. You don't want to just trust them and click on them. Just like you don't want to just trust QR codes and scan them. Another QR code scam you need to watch out for, because what these scammers do is they'll print out stickers of malicious QR codes, and they'll put their malicious QR codes, they'll place the stickers on top of public QR codes. QR codes are in the public. And an example of that is parking meters. So you know how parking meters, a lot of them have a QR code now for you to scan and pay using the parking app, right? Well, what these scammers do is they place their QR code, their malicious QR code, on top of the parking meter QR code. And when someone goes to scan it to pay for parking, they actually get taken to the scammer's website and get their payment details stolen. And then on top of that, they probably get a ticket because they thought they paid for parking, but they actually paid a scammer, and then a cop comes along and gives them a ticket. So, whenever you're scanning these QR codes that you find in public, you want to analyze them real quick. Look them over, make sure they don't look like they're tampered with or were placed on top of another QR code. Suspicious stuff like that. All right, so watch out for them on like fake parking meters. Okay, and then staying in the spirit of fake tickets, traffic tickets, and unpaid toll tickets. There's been reports of fake parking tickets, like actual, paper printed parking tickets left in people's windshields, but they're fake. And when the person scans the fake ticket to pay the parking ticket, they get taken to a fake website that steals their payment info. So they think they're going to pay a cheap $35 parking ticket or something. They're actually paying a scammer. Yeah, and that's been reported where there's actually these fake parking tickets being left in people's windshields to be aware of. Right? They get with the QR code. So those are some examples of these QR code scams that you need to watch out for in the public, right? Whether it's a free gift, postcard, or a flyer, right? You might see a flyer in public, or somebody hands you a flyer, right? It has a QR code to scan. Be careful. Any unexpected packages that you receive that say scan this, be suspicious. Parking meters, right? Parking tickets left on your windshield. They're all common QR code scams we're starting to hear about now. So anyway, be aware of those. And now let's get back into these snail mail scams. So we already talked about the gift card and the free gift postcard scam, right? That you get in the mail. It's a postcard. So I'm just updating the agenda here. Bear with me one sec. Okay, so I already talked about the postcard you get. This free gift offer, right? Sometimes it has a QR code on it. Doesn't mean you can trust it just because it arrived in the mail. Okay, next scam that we're going to talk about here, snail mail scam. And this one is a recent scam. It's circulating. The example I'm going to show you right now is important to be aware of. This is an inheritance scam example. Right, so victims are contacted with claims of a large inheritance from an unknown relative. But to claim it, they must pay fees or provide personal details. These scams exploit curiosity and greed to steal money and identity information. Right? And we've seen email examples of this one too, where you get an email that says, you're entitled to some kind of inheritance. But here's the snail mail one. This is an actual letter. And you can see it's dated November 29th, 2024. Right? So it's not even a full year old yet. In a couple months it'll be a year old, so it's still fairly recent. And it's actively circulating. There's a letter that people receive in the mail where it has fake letterhead with a logo. They impersonate a law office. It has a law office's name up here. And the letter goes into this whole narrative where it says, "Dear," it has a person's name, and it'll be correct. It'll be the actual person's name that the letter is sent to. And they impersonate a law office. And it says that someone sharing the same last name of them died 4 years ago and left an inheritance of $10.8 million of their life insurance policy or inheritance. They haven't tracked any family members. You share a last name with the person, so you're entitled to this inheritance. And they're a law office. They're willing to facilitate the whole thing for you. Won't cost you anything. It's 100% risk-free, right? And they're going to expedite the process in a highly professional and confidential manner. And one of the things I want to point out here too is they put, this claim requires a high level of confidentiality, right? There's that red flag we talked about where when they ask for confidentiality, that's always a red flag because the scammers don't want you to tell anybody. If you're getting some kind of inheritance, who are they to tell you to keep it confidential? So that's a red flag when someone's telling you to keep it secret. But anyway, so this letter, what's interesting about it is the paragraph where they're talking about their client who passed away, $10.8 million. The late Dr. Maria, and the last name in this letter, they made the last name match of the last name it was addressed to. Right? So they actually took the time to make sure that every letter that goes out, the client who supposedly passed away, they make sure the last name that they use is the same last name as the person they're addressing a letter to. So they actually take the time to make sure that matches. Yeah, and it says that they're insured permanent policies. Yeah, so is their insurance policy supposed. So you get $10.8 million. Now, again, a lot of the times the whole scam of these inheritance scams, a lot of times the scam is they trick you into paying fees and taxes up front and first, right? And then they steal the fees and taxes you supposedly paid. You don't get any inheritance and they stole that money from you, right? Usually that's the way that it goes. But there's been other versions of this too where they just steal all your banking details and personal details. They try to clear you out that way. All right, so there's, the end result is always the same though. They're going to scam you out of money. And there is no inheritance. But think about it. If they were able to scam the people that they do scam, let's say they did get them to pay taxes and fees up front first. Think about how much that might be on $10.8 million. Right? So taxes on fees and that, they could potentially scam someone out of a couple $1 million that falls for this and thinks that they're actually going to get a huge inheritance. Yeah. So interesting scam. It's actively circulating. Arrives in your mailbox, and important to be aware of. Even the email versions too. Again, there's email versions too that use the same type of scam. So watch out for these inheritance scams. Yeah, Dave mentions the Nigerian 419 scam by email. Yep. That's different than a Nigerian Prince one, right? The Prince one is a little different, I think. Yeah, the Prince one is always like something like, you gotta help us move money or something, whereas the Nigerian one, the 419. Yeah, I don't remember exact details, but let me know if that was a Nigerian Prince one. But yeah, so snail mail, inheritance scams. Important to be aware of. Cool, I see some activity in the chat here. That's why I look a little distracted. I'm just checking out the chat, seeing what people are saying here. Frank says, joke's on them. I don't pay parking tickets. There you go, Frank. That's one way to get them. We're streaming live on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook. Let me know if you're watching. Say hi in the chat. Give us a like. A couple reactions. Help us spread awareness about these scams. We're going to keep going here. We have one more example on the list of scams that we're going to share, but there's still a little bit more left of the live stream. It's actually my favorite part of the live stream coming up here. After we finish this next example of a scam, of a snail mail scam, I'm going to bring up the scam tracker map over on the AARP website, and we're going to see what kind of scams people are reporting, and we're going to review in real time, if these are the type of scams that we already covered, or if there's other ones that we should talk about. So that's always fun. But anyway, let me go over this last scam example here as part of the regular list. And we actually did a video about this one. We released a video about a month or two ago, probably a couple months at this point. But this is basically, they refer to it as a secret survey gift card scam. But really, what I would call it is a mystery shopper scam. So the victims receive these letters in the mail saying they've been selected and assigned a secret survey assignment. In other words, they've been assigned they've been selected as a mystery shopper, right? And the letter, what's interesting about this snail mail scam letter that arrives, it has a check attached, included in an envelope, right? So this letter arrives. They're impersonating Walgreens and CVS. It has the Walgreens and CVS logos at the top. And it has this check included. And the letter, what it instructs the victim to do is it says, deposit this check, this $2,480 check, deposit it into your bank, and then within 12 to 24 hours, go to Walgreens or CVS and purchase 4 $500 gift cards and send them. And then it says you could keep the $480 or the $450 extra as your commission. Right? So someone receives this letter. It's got a check already there. So the check's in hand and they're thinking, wow, this is great. I already got paid. They deposit it in their bank. The bank takes the check. They don't say anything. They'll take a check. They don't question what you're depositing. Right? You go out, you purchase $2,000 worth of gift cards. You give it to this scammer. Right? Day goes by. Everything's fine and dandy. You're thinking, that's amazing. I just made easiest $450 I made in my life. Right? Then you get a notification from the bank that the check bounced, right? That $2,400 that you thought was in your bank had just disappeared, right? And the scammer made off with $2,000 of gift cards that you just purchased and have no way to get back from them, right? So that's an important thing to realize about these types of scams, these check scams. Just because you have the check in hand, that doesn't mean anything. Just because you deposit it at the bank and the bank takes it, that doesn't mean anything either, right? A day or two later, if it's a bad check, then you're getting notified that it bounced a day or two later. So, and scammers count on that. That's why when a lot of these check scams, they involve acting quick. That's why these letters say within 12 to 24 hours. Because once you deposit that check, the scammer knows that the clock's ticking. He knows for the next 24 hours that you think you just made money, but the gig is up after 24 hours, right? So that's why a scammer rushes these victims, deposits a check, but then immediately go and purchase these gift cards. And what's interesting about this example of a scam, this letter, so it impersonates Walgreens and CVS, and it tells the victim, go to Walgreens or CVS, right? Those are the stores that it specifically instructs the victim to go to. And the type of gift cards that it instructs to buy are Apple gift cards, Razor Gold gift cards, Nike gift cards, Steam Wallet gift cards. Those are the gift cards that this scam wants you to purchase, that the scammer wants. And it tells you to either go to CVS or Walgreens and buy $2,000 worth. Another example of this letter, this scam, same idea, impersonates Walgreens and CVS. And in this example, the check was for $1,900, like $2,000, a little bit lower. And it instructs the victim to go purchase 3 $500 gift cards. Right? And what's interesting about this version of this scam is it's similar because it impersonates Walgreens, CVS. It has the check included in the envelope, tell them to deposit it, same, all that. Right? But what's different and interesting about this one is instead of just saying Walgreens or CVS, this has a whole list of stores you could go to. So this scammer doesn't care where you go to buy the gift cards, He instructs to go to Walgreens, Best Buy, Target, CVS, Rite Aid, Family Dollar, Meijer, Kroger, Safeway, Dollar General, Walmart, Speedway, Albertsons, right? This scammer's just like, buy them from anywhere. I don't care. Just buy them, right? And he instructs them to buy $500, 3 gift cards, $500 each, but he only wants Apple gift cards, right? The other version took a couple different gift cards. This guy only wants Apple gift cards. He's more open to where you buy them from, but as long as they're Apple gift cards, he's good. So, but this is a scam, right? You deposit the check, you go out, you purchase a gift card, you send him to a scammer. You think you made a nice little $500, $400 commission, but then 24 hours you get notified by the bank the check is bad, and to add insult to injury, not only did that $2,000 or whatever disappear, the bank hits you with a fee for depositing a bad check. So just adding insult to injury with this scam. So it's an interesting gift card scam version, right? It's a clever way to trick victims into purchasing gift cards. So it's almost like that's why whenever you hear mentioning of purchasing gift cards, like it should immediately be like, is this some kind of scam? Wait a minute, what's going on here? It's clever. They have clever ways. And also, you ever receive a check that's included with any kind of envelope? It's a scam. You're not just getting a random check in the mail, from someone that you weren't dealing with or expecting, and don't trust it. It's gonna be a scam. And what's interesting also about this scam, right, is I mentioned all these examples I'm showing you, they're recent scams. These aren't like scams from a long time ago. These are scams that are actively in the wild, like right now, circulating. We did a video about this one, sharing these examples, and we have recent comments on the video from the past few weeks. Recent comments of people reporting receiving these scam letters in the mail. So we know that they're actively circulating, and it's important to be aware of them. And just because it has a check included, that doesn't mean people see the check, they get excited. Well, I already been paid. Nah. I haven't paid anything. The check's got to clear. But anyway, so that's a interesting version of a snail mail scam that's currently circulating and important to be aware of. They're still out there, and they're probably more successful. I don't want to say never, but they're probably a lot more successful than you would think. People kind of have their guard down when they receive a letter in the mail directly to them. How are we all doing out there? You still with me? We're getting to one of my favorite parts of the live stream now. I don't know how long I'll go. We'll probably go for like 20 more minutes. We'll probably go at least 9:15, I'm thinking. 30 more minutes maybe. Maybe 15 minutes at the least. But we could go 30 minutes, say. How are we all doing out there? Let me know in the chat if you're still with me. Give me some reactions. If you haven't clicked like yet, if you're just joining, hit that thumbs up. Give us a like. Hit that heart. Give us some reactions. Follow. Subscribe. We need all the support we can get. Our mission here is to spread awareness about these scams and get the word out. And this is one of the ways we do it. We just live stream every week, every Thursday, 5:45. Actually, next week's is actually canceled. So just making everybody aware next week's is canceled. I'll update the schedule on the site. But we typically do this every week, every Thursday, 5:45 p.m. Eastern Time. And, goal is to spread awareness of these scams. So get the word out, help us out, like, follow, subscribe, all that good stuff. We have a free mailing list. It's on scamaware101.com. You can hit join mailing list. So if you haven't done that yet, definitely join the free mailing list. We send you a confirmation email. So make sure to look out for, check your junk mail for that confirmation link. And we don't want to, we're not letting scammers sign up anybody's email. We send out the confirmation email. So make sure to check for that and verify. But join the free mailing list, get some scam awareness tips, reminders when we're going live, updates on events. Like I'll be sending out a reminder that next week's live stream scams. And make sure to follow us on your favorite social media platforms: YouTube, Blue Sky, X, Facebook, Threads, Instagram. So let's go into this last portion of the live stream here. We'll probably go for 30 minutes. I do have fun with the scam tracker map here. So I take a sip of my Scamware 101 coffee mug. Available on our store, our YouTube store. Check it out. Make great holiday gifts. Gifts for the whole office. Buy them for everybody. Great stocking stuffers. Anyway. So on our website here on scamware101.com, we're trying to turn it into a resource as well for scam education and tools and educational videos. We have a video links to our video library here, a list of upcoming events. We're going to be building out more. But one of the pages we have a tools and software page here. And you click on that. Sometimes I spend some time on a live stream. I go over this a little bit more. You know what? I'm going to mention the one section here. All right. So on our online tools and software page, scamaware101.com, it's important to know what information of yours is out there because of data breaches. A lot of these scammers, they already know what bank you use. They already know what credit card companies they have. They might already know your last 4 digits of your social security number or your full number because they've broken into third-party services that you've used. Recently, so Equifax got breached. The credit reporting agency, Equifax, the big 3 credit reporting agencies, right? Equifax got breached a while ago. So all these consumers' information, credit details got released. And just recently, a couple weeks ago, they announced TransUnion, another one of the big credit reporting bureaus, got breached. So 2 out of 3 so far. Unless I'm forgetting the third one that got breached, which it might have, but 2 out of 3 so far of the credit bureaus, the ones that have all our information on file, credit cards and details about us, right, they got breached. So our information is out there all over the place. And that's just the credit bureaus. Hospitals and insurance companies last year. United Healthcare, or a division of them, got breached. And I think it was like 2/3 of the country's health information got accessed and sold on the dark web to these scammers and criminals, right? So our healthcare details are out there. There's a lot of healthcare fraud now because these scammers know what doctors you have and what doctors impersonate. They know what pharmacies you use, so they impersonate your pharmacies. They know who your healthcare providers are, so they impersonate your healthcare providers. They know whether you're on Medicare or what, and they'll try to get your so like they have so much details about you to use with their scams and to convince you you're dealing with someone that, well, if they know this much about me, it must really be Medicare calling. No, it's a scammer because a third party got breached and they know all this information about you. Anyway, you can find out what information of yours is floating around out there by using these data breach lookup tools. We have them here on our online tools and software page. The first 4 links here that we have listed, they're trustworthy, reliable services. And you can trust them with putting your info in there. And right after you enter either your phone number or email address, honestly, I say go to each one. If they take your email address, put in your email address. If they take your phone number, put in your phone number. If they take both, run one on your email, run one on your phone number. That's what I did. It's safe. I did it. It's all good. But basically, what happens is instantly it comes back and it gives you a report of all this information of yours that's been exposed and out there from these breaches, right? That are linked to your email address or your phone number. It'll even come back with some accounts and the passwords of yours that have been exposed. So be warned, when you type your information in here, it's going to come back. It might come back with passwords you still use Like if you use the same password across multiple accounts, or you didn't realize that your account got breached, like these reports might come back and say, hey, this is your password, right? So you might be in for a shocker. But anyway, we have these 4 links over here on our online tools and software section of our scamware101.com website. Check them out, put in your info, and see what data yours is out there. They're all free. They all come back with a report for you. Some of them might try to sell you like identity monitoring and dark web monitoring afterwards. Whatever. You still get the reports for free, and the information it gives you is important to know. So definitely worth checking it out. Again, that's on our online tools and software page over on scamware101.com. I'm not going to really talk about the rest of these links. Sometimes I go through them all. We're an affiliate at NordPass, NordVPN, affiliate Malwarebytes. So we have links here. Get some discounts on that. But I'm going to skip over that for now. I want to talk about that stuff right now. We have some links to reverse image lookup sites here you could use. Some website lookup tools. So some useful stuff here under our software and tools section. Check it out later. I'm not going to spend too much time on it right now. But the whole reason I'm going over this page is because at the very end, the last link we have here is a link to the ARP scam tracking map. And this is what I like to do as the last portion of our weekly live stream here. Let me bring up the scam tracking map. And while that's loading, I see we got a new viewer here, Side Glass. Welcome to the live stream, Side Glass. We've been going since 5:45 p.m. Eastern time, so we just actually hit 3 hours. Just wrapped up our 3rd hour and heading into the 4th here. But we're probably going to wrap up in probably the next 30 minutes or so. We still got some good stuff coming up. But welcome to the live stream. Good to see you. Thanks for saying hi in the chat and let me know you're watching. Hit that like button and definitely follow, subscribe, all that good stuff. We're streaming live on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube. I see some viewers over on Facebook. Say hi in the chat. Let me know you're watching. Sure, hit that like and follow if you haven't yet. Same thing for Instagram. But anyway, so the ARP scam tracking map. This is fun. I always have fun wrapping up the live streams with this. When you open up the page, it has to detect your location. I told it not to because I like to look at the reports coming in throughout the country. But you could let it detect your location, or you could put in your location if you want to narrow it down to your state or area. But anyway, keeping the nationwide results up here, you can see the scam reports that have recently come in, and they're dated. The most recent ones are 9/16, so we're talking 2 days ago. So we're looking at really recent reports here, and it's a good way to kind of measure, or at least in my opinion, it's a good way to measure what scams are circulating or which ones are becoming more common. You can see some different variations of the scams that people are reporting. All right, so I like to go through this at the end of our live stream and see one, if the scams we covered are still pretty active and being reported here, which usually they are. And then 2, if there's any other scams that we should take a few minutes and talk about here that are being reported a lot. So if you're with me, let me know in the chat, hit that react button, and also let me know in the chat if you've received these scams too that we're going to talk about, or at least that are getting reported. Maybe you'll recognize some of them too. So let's start with the first one here. Government imposter scam. Florida Department of Revenue. Your refund request has been processed and approved. Please provide accurate. Okay, so this one's still going around. Let's actually read the exact text of what they said. But we talked about this as actually, we didn't talk about this. Haha, I thought we talked about this for a minute. Let's take a minute and talk about this. So over on the scamware101.com website here, I'm going to jump over real quick to our Facebook page, which we have a link. I'll make sure to follow us on Facebook. It's probably not going to let me look at it because I'm in incognito. Click that. Hey, look, some guy's live over here on Facebook. Anyway, here, right as I got to it, it popped up the block. Let me try one more time. I can get there close enough. Oh, wait, I see her? Yeah, I can open it this way. Maybe. Nope. Sorry, guys. I thought I could just open this real quick. Here it is. Good. All right, cool. This is what I wanted to show you right here. So this person is reporting a text message they got. Florida Department of Revenue, your refund request has been processed approved. Please provide accurate information. Funds will be deposited into your bank account, right? Revised statute. They try to scare them by saying they got to submit this or whatever, but it sounds like it's for a refund request, though, so it's weird that they would threaten them. It's a scammer to do stupid stuff. But, and it claimed, okay, so this one person, it's Florida Department of Revenue. So that's what this report is. It's a text message that this person received. The text message is impersonating the Florida Department of Revenue, and it says, click this link to confirm your information because you're entitled to deposit. And the reason why I brought up the Facebook page here is because we just warned about this on our Facebook page the other day for New Jersey, the version for New Jersey that's circulating. Let's see, does it say the exact same? New Jersey Department of Taxation. Does that match? Florida Department of Revenue. Your refund request has been processed and approved. Please provide accurate information. Your refund request has been processed and approved. Please provide... there we go. So this is pretty much identical text message. It's just one impersonates New Jersey Department of Taxation. The other impersonates Florida Department of Revenue. Yeah, so there we go. If you're following us on Facebook, you would have seen this post. We posted this last week. And it was a warning about the New Jersey version of this scam. But you know what? Whenever you see a version of these scams that's targeting one state, you can rest assured it's going to start targeting other states if it's not already. So watch out for this tax refund scam that's circulating right now, whether it's impersonating New Jersey Department of Taxation and the Florida Department of Revenue. So anyway, that's the first report that we see here over on the ARP scam tracker map. Came in 2 days ago. Warning about that text message scam. Watch out for it. And hey, not for nothing, confirms that we're on top of it. We shared a couple days ago, probably either the day of or a couple days before, we shared the one about New Jersey. Let's see what's the next one here. Government imposter scam. Sergeant Sean Allen, saying he's with the Sheriff's Department, wanted to talk to me. I called and verified there is no... All right. I'm not going to read this anymore because it's probably a fake arrest warrant scam. That was the first scam we talked about this evening was arrest warrant scams. And these scammers call up. They impersonate the Sheriff's Department. The caller ID will show the Sheriff's Department's phone number on there. Because I mentioned this a lot. And if you're just joining, I'm going to mention it for you. Scammers can manipulate what the caller ID shows. When they impersonate the bank, they're calling you impersonating the bank. They'll show the bank's phone number on caller ID. That doesn't mean you could trust it. And that's the same thing in the case of these scams where they impersonate law enforcement. They claim there's an arrest warrant out, and your caller ID will show the sheriff's phone number. Right? It can be very convincing, but don't trust it. So we have a video about that one. Check out the arrest warrant scam video we have on our YouTube channel. But hey, there we go. We got somebody reporting about that one too. We got a video about it. That's 2 for 2 so far. Not bad. Let's see. Third one. Scam email claimed to be Walmart. Subject, your Walmart order summary. Thanks for shopping with us. Perfect. I don't have to read it anymore because know what that is? That's a fake order scam. And we covered that scam earlier in our live stream as well this evening. And how that fake order scam works is this victim receives an email and it claims an order was placed under their Walmart account. And that says, but if you didn't place this order, call this number to dispute it. So the whole idea is the victim thinks, I better call this number to dispute this order. They think they're calling Walmart. They're actually calling a scammer. And here's a report of that type of scam right here. We have a video about that one too. Check out our fake order scam video where we play you examples of phone call scams. We show you a text message version of a scam. And we actually covered all that earlier on the live stream too as well. So boom, 3 for 3. We're on it over here at Scamaware 101. If you didn't know, now you know. Let's see, what's the fourth one here? Business imposter scam. Call from person saying from Bank of America about a card in my name from used to buy guns online. I have no such card. Let's see. Let's see a little bit more detail about what this says. All right, call from person saying from Bank of America about a card in my name from California used to buy guns online. I have no such card. Was forwarded to LA Sheriff Officer who took my information, including IDA and driving license, and was sent a report by email. Then forwarded to FBI, supposedly as my name associated with California Bank, used in money laundering. I ended contact when sent a picture of a person arrested for crime, but when I searched the image, it was of a person arrested for an assault kit. I don't know what else they got from him. He doesn't mention them getting any money, but it sounds like this was a bank. It started as a bank impersonation scam. So I'm going to count this as we covered this because it starts as a bank impersonation scam. They tell him there's something wrong with his account. or someone's making purchases under his account. All right, so that's typical of a bank impersonation scam. What's interesting is then he mentions that they forward him somebody claims a police officer, LA sheriff, they're impersonating a sheriff and this and that. But he doesn't mention anything about giving him money. Instead, he mentions that he sent them his ID, his driver's license. So this could have been just some kind of identity fraud type scam where now they're going to go open bank accounts and create accounts or file for taxes or employment using his information, or open Bitcoin exchanges and things like that using his details. But it all started with the bank impersonation scam, which is interesting. And that's another example of one of those scams where if the caller ID shows the bank's phone number, it doesn't mean you can trust it, because we know that these scammers, when they call you impersonating the bank, they show the bank's phone number. Whether a text message or email, phone call. Other scam type, Geek Squad email. You know what? It doesn't look like this guy gave any more details about the Geek Squad email, but it is mentioned almost every week. We see this one mentioned, and we did a video short on this, I think, somewhere on YouTube. We have one of our video shorts shows the Geek Squad email. I think I have an example here to show you of it, though. Yeah, so this is one version of the email. This was actually sent to my old email address too. But it's pretty basic email here. I don't know if the other versions going around look fancier or whatnot, but it basically impersonates Geek Squad. And it says that you have your annual renewal for 2 devices is going through. $375. All right, it's going to auto withdraw from my checking account, it says. And it says to call customer support if you want to cancel or request a refund. Right, but this is all fake. This is all a scam. Right? It's just they're trying to trick you into calling this phone number, because you're going to get this email saying that you're going to be charged $375. And the whole idea is to trick you into calling this number, being like, don't charge me, I don't know what this is. But once you're on the phone with them, they're going to go into a scam. They might go into that whole narrative where they say someone has access to your account. Someone's been using your identity. By the way, that's actually known as the phantom hacker scam, is what they're calling it. They actually gave it a name, because so many of these scams kind of evolve into this, somebody's gotten into your accounts and has access to your information, and they started calling it the phantom hacker scam, or the phantom hacker narrative. But anyway, so here's that person reporting that Geek Squad email scam. I get lots of people reporting that one to me, or they mention it on the live stream in the chat, and I just showed you an example of one of those that we have here. So be aware of that one. Geek Squad is very commonly impersonated in that type of scam. PayPal is very commonly impersonated in that type of scam. You get these emails saying that a purchase was made using your PayPal. You have to be suspicious of all those types of scams. They try to get you to call back the scammer. You think you're calling PayPal, you think you're calling Geek Squad, but you're actually calling a scammer. See what this next report is. Okay, we've got a fake ticket scam. We didn't talk about that one at all, but you know what's interesting? Been hearing about this one more often. I actually commented on a post last week. It was a local post from just a local venue was warning about fake tickets and from StubHub. I replied saying make sure to notify StubHub, but yeah, here's somebody else reporting fake tickets. We see this a lot. And I can tell you, every time I follow an event or something on Facebook that requires tickets, scammers, there's that little discussion tab, right? You click discussion, scammers. I've seen it's just full, a whole line of just, I have a free ticket, or I have tickets available, contact me, right? But they're all scammers. It's crazy. But anyway, let's see what this guy says. I bought 6 tickets from what I thought was MLB vendor called Ticket Fulfillment Center Services. All right, so that's these totally fake websites. Right, and in this case, that's what it sounds like happened. He used one of these fake websites, which we hear about that too. I contacted the city and told them, which, you know what? Using these fake websites, that makes more sense for a scammer to do than trying to sell fake tickets through StubHub and things. Because the way StubHub works is, granted, there's a lot of scams, but they don't pay out the resellers until, I think it's 10 days after an event passed. So people could report fake tickets and stuff that were sold, and the scammer never gets paid. So as far as scammers are concerned, it seems to make more sense to do what happened in this case, which is just create a whole fake website that has tickets listed, and whatever payment details the person gives you, steal. But anyway, so this guy says it was 6 MLB tickets he thought was buying from a website, an official website, but it was a scam website. Contacted City. It was fraud. City contacted the vendor. City said they couldn't help. The date of the ball game arrived, no tickets from the vendor. I tell City, and they tell me it's too late to do anything. I don't know if he's talking about his bank or credit card. If it was a credit card, a lot of times you could at least dispute that stuff. But maybe he used his debit card. Maybe that's why City wouldn't do anything. I bought tickets for my cousin for the ball game. I paid the scammer. A vendor emailed me about events in Charlotte, trying to get me more money. I never heard from them again. I was scammed out of, $1,800. Well, that's because he got 6 tickets. Yeah, damn. Watch out for ticket scams online, whether websites that you're not familiar with, or even resellers. Only use official outlets. I'll maybe go through one more page. How are we all doing out there? You still with me in the chat? See, Frank mentioned buy RVs in their name. I'm not sure what that was referring to, but see, cryptocurrency scams and fraud. Coinbase. It's Coinbase one. This is a popular one too. We hear about this one every week. I've been targeted with it before. Shoot. I meant to get an example ready for this one for you guys. Give me one sec. I want to show an example of this one if I can find it. Might not have it here. Do a quick search. If I don't find it, I'll continue. But this Coinbase. So these Coinbase scammers, they're targeting people with phone calls. First of all, I've received the phone calls. Right? So they're targeting people over the phone, calling you up. They're pretending to be with Coinbase, right? And they're saying that there's suspicious activity under your account. They're also sending out emails, right? You get these emails that just say something like verify your information or there's suspicious activity, and they have the whole fake link to click. But they also have the text messages too. Like this guy's reporting, where it's a fake notification saying there's a withdrawal, right? And if you didn't request a withdrawal, then call this number. Yeah, I don't have that example for you. I think I have it on my phone. But anyway, yeah, so if you get text, anything from that claims to be from Coinbase, if you use Coinbase, if you don't use Coinbase, then obviously you know it's a scam. But if you use Coinbase, if you get anything, really any kind of notification, whether it's an email or a text message, phone call, right? These are all known scams right now that are circulating. I've received a version of each. I've received the phone calls from a real person. It was actually a real person. And they were asking me all these questions, saying there was a transaction in Mexico. Were you in Mexico? And I've gotten a text message. I don't reply or answer. And I've gotten the emails too. So be aware of that. And by the way, Coinbase was one of those companies that got breached a few years ago. They have a few breach on file, which means the scammers know who their customers are to target, right? So is that much more convincing? They know details about you. They know your name. They know the state that you're in, for example. The person that called me knew what state my account was under. So something connected me to the state I was in, and they knew. So it's interesting. But anyway, watch out for any communications claimed to be from Coinbase. And really, you need to be suspicious of anything involving money, cryptocurrency, anything that's financial. Any kind of notification, whether it's a bank, trading exchange. You have to have your guard up and be suspicious. Yeah, Frank. In my case, they did have an accent, and they said something like they opened up with, there's been suspicious activity under your Coinbase account, and they said something like, have you logged in from Mexico? We see the most recent login was from Mexico. And I didn't want to answer any questions because I didn't know if they were maybe trying to like reset a password or access an account or something behind the scenes or create an account. So I didn't want to go answering any questions that they asked, even though I wanted to see where it went. But when they asked, like, did you log in from Mexico or whatever, I said, I travel a lot, maybe, right? And when I said that, they hung up. So it was kind of like, it was a quick 1-minute call. One of the first questions they asked was, do you log in from Mexico or whatever? And because I answered by saying I travel sometimes, they just hung up. So it might be part of the script where, that might be part of the script where someone answers yes or something, they just hang up and don't waste their time and go on to the next person. So it was interesting. I didn't realize they were going to hang up because I was recording it and I wanted to get more, example of this scam. But anyway, yeah, it was a real person and, yeah. But Coinbase, watch out for it. Anything involving Coinbase right now is, watch out for those scams. And Coinbase is getting a lot of media attention right now. They're doing good. The company's doing good. It's getting a lot of, attention on the market and stuff like that. So, of course, scammers are going to keep on using the name. They know it's popular and it's a trusted name. So, anyway, all right, let's check out this last few batch of results here. We'll check out the next 5 and then we'll call it a night here. Let's see. Elder scams and fraud. While trying to log in to TransUnion, I was switched to a website without my knowledge. I thought I was talking to TransUnion. Okay, so this is worth talking about. But I thought I was talking to TransUnion until phishing began, but the scammer did get my credit card number. All right, yeah, that's a good example and something to be aware of. These scammers, they make websites, not only are they very realistic looking, but a lot of times they'll just have like a typo in the name. So, he thinks he's on a TransUnion website. He probably sees TransUnion, in the address, but maybe a couple letters were just like reversed. You don't notice it. Or it's a weird subdomain of transunion.fakewebsite.com, So, but yeah, you need to watch out for the website you're actually on. Verify it's the one you're supposed to be, especially when it involves anything like your credit in this case. And in this case, the guy's credit card. So, but that's a good tip, important to be aware of in that one. And we hear about that a lot. Even when you're looking up, you're trying to do the right thing, but when you get these unsolicited communications, you try to do the right thing by looking up the official sources and the official contact information. But you have to keep in mind that scammers put up fake websites that, you want to make sure you're on the right site because you might find a fake one that a scammer put up. Let's see what this next one here. Government imposter scam. From 212 from Morocco, state of Florida, Department of Revenue, your tax refund claim has been processed. That's the same one that someone reported in the first couple of results we looked at here, and the same one as the New Jersey example that we shared. So, yeah, that one looks like it's picking up. And it sounds similar to the unpaid road toll and the highway scam. I bet you it's the same people behind that because it sounds very similar as far as, being from the government and anyway, watch out for that. Any kind of text message claiming you have a tax refund and to confirm information. Government imposter scam. I received a call from someone who said they were from Amazon checking if I had made a purchase of a new iPhone. I had not. All right, this is a good example of a fake order notification scam. We have a video about this. This is a phone call version this person's reporting. Earlier, somebody reported an email version. Good. This person gives a lot of details. Cool. I like when they give a lot of details because you can kind of follow what happens after the initial, opening of the scam. So let's see. This person received a call from someone who said they were from Amazon, checking if I had made a purchase of a new iPhone. Right. So typical, fake order notification. They call you on a phone, say an order was placed. It says they haven't. They then said identity theft that happened. Right. So they go into the whole phantom hacker narrative. Right. There's your identity theft. Somebody has access to your accounts. So they said in this case, identity theft had happened and forwarded me to another number who said she was from Social Security Fraud Investigation Division. She began to say my Social Security number had been used in several money laundering and drug operations. I had to tell the truth, otherwise the U.S. Marshals would be investigating me or someone close to me. They'll do this. Yeah, so this is a narrative that I've been hearing about too, where like they call you up and they add that whole threatening thing in where it's like someone's been using your information. And they're investigating if it was you or not. So they're trying to make you feel like you're under investigation. She asked questions about my bank accounts. I didn't give her any numbers, but did say the names of the banks. She even gave me her badge number and case ID number. some of these scammers, they'll enter your info in with a case ID number. Because I've called some of these back. Like, people have reported them to me, and they'll have a case number. And I've actually called some back trying to just see what they're all about. And they ask for the case number. You'll give them a case number. They actually pull up your info. They actually have it linked to, all right, they have case number this. We scammed this person with it. They know who to. So it sounds all official. You give them a case number, and it makes you think, like, wow, they got a case number that's actually linked to my name. And, right. So it was interesting. But anyway, let me continue here. So they transferred to the U.S. Marshals. They said they would. Right, so they gave her a case number. They transferred to what they said was U.S. Marshals office. So it started off as Amazon. They transferred to Social Security. Then they transferred to U.S. Marshals. Right. Once she's talking to the U.S. Marshals office, they would get me a new Social Security number after they finished the investigation. They also claimed I was in trouble unless I could prove I didn't defraud or money launder almost $1 million. I hung up on them at this point. They tried to add me back several times. I felt very scared of the way they were intimidating me and threatening me with potential criminal consequences, and now I feel very stupid for letting them keep me on the phone for so long. Interesting. So all that, unless she's leaving some info out, all that just to get my bank accounts, just to get her bank names. It says that she gave her bank, which bank she used. She probably gave a lot more information, didn't realize it. She probably like confirmed her Social Security number, didn't realize it. It's an interesting narrative, though. I'm going to actually screenshot this one real quick. I want to save it just to... Because it's interesting seeing how it starts with, first they call you impersonating Amazon. Then they transfer you to Social Security, so you think you're dealing with the government now. Then they transfer you to U.S. Marshals, so you think you're dealing with law enforcement and that you're in trouble. So it's interesting how they do that. And it all started... See, it goes back to these fake order notifications, right? It all started with a fake order phone call. They call you up and said, hey, did you purchase an iPhone on Amazon? It's a fake order notification. It could spin into multiple different scams, but recognizing that fake order notification and knowing how to verify it, right? That's important when it comes to avoiding these scams. Just bear with me one sec. I'm saving this screenshot of this report here. How are we all doing out there? Let me know you're watching. We're getting there. We've got a couple more reports we're going to look at, but we're probably wrapping up probably within the next 10 minutes or so. So last chance to say hi in the chat. Let me know you're watching. Hit that like button if you haven't yet. Subscribe, like, follow, all that good stuff. We gladly accept donations. Go to scamaware101.com/donate, or you'll see a link at the bottom of the site to donate. We also have super thanks and memberships enabled here on YouTube as well. So we'll accept super thanks and memberships and all those other little features that we have enabled here on YouTube. Anything helps, we appreciate it. But hey, don't feel obligated. We're happy with a like or a subscribe or a follow. We appreciate it all. So make sure to join our free mailing list, scamaware101.com. Okay, cool. I got that report saved. Let's out these last couple reports here. How are we doing over on Instagram and Facebook? We got anybody else on there? No new activity. I see some watchers, but everybody's being quiet. So that's okay. We're going to wrap up a couple minutes anyway. Government impersonation. And, oh, okay. We just got one more left. The text seemed to be from Apple support in reference to fraudulent charge on my Apple Pay account. Fake order notification, right? That was one of the examples, the first examples we showed you was that text message that impersonates Apple. Right? It says that your Apple Pay was used and they call this number if it wasn't you. It's a fake order notification scam. So many scams getting reported that are fake order notification scams, or they start off that way. So be aware of that. And, I think that's going to be about it for this live stream this evening. All good stuff. The scams being reported is pretty on point with the ones that we go over on the live stream and the examples we showed. All right, here's that one from the recent one about the tax and the funds. Impersonating New Jersey, but now we saw they're floating around Florida too. So that means that they're coming to your state soon. So be aware. Just because it's getting reported in New Jersey and Florida, that means that they're everywhere. You're going to start seeing it and targeting everybody in every state. Make sure to follow us on your favorite social media platforms: YouTube, Blue Sky, X, Facebook, Threads, and Instagram. Even if you don't use them, hop on real quick and follow us. We appreciate it. It helps out. All right. Live stream, we usually do it every week. Next week is canceled. I have something to take care of on that Thursday, but we'll be back the following Thursday as usual, 5:45 p.m. Eastern Time. We'll get the schedule updated here on our website because it still shows next week's there. So I'm going to get that updated. Don't forget to join our free mailing list, scamware101.com, and hit join mailing list. It's the best way to stay up to date with our new content and reminders when we're going on live. For example, I'm going to send out a reminder that next week's live stream is canceled. So take a minute, join that free mailing list if you haven't yet. And I think that's about it. I appreciate you all. If you just joined late, my name is Jared. I'm with Scamware 101. Do this live stream every week. Not next week, but we'll be starting up again the following week. So make sure to subscribe to the mailing list, follow us on social media. And hey, protect yourself from scams. Protect yourself. Protect your loved ones. Again, it's so important to be aware. Scam awareness is key. If you realize that you've been scammed after the fact, after you sent money, it's too late. It really is. You hear so many horror stories about people's life savings and retirement being lost to these scammers. And it's terrible. And really, awareness is key. Staying up to date and current with the common scams that are circulating is critical. It's essential. So there's important stuff, and it takes community. So spread the word, share our videos, subscribe to our YouTube channel. A lot of scams we talked about tonight, we have videos about that you could share. The red flags, the IT videos we mentioned, referencing the tech support scams, the fake CAPTCHA scams, right? There's some good online scam videos too there. So make sure to subscribe, follow, and that's it, everybody. Thanks again for tuning in. I always appreciate you. Dave, thanks again for the super thanks. Always appreciate you, man. You're here every week. #1 supporter over there. Looks like you took over John as #1, actually. So there we go. It says #2 next to John's name. You even beat John. But John's been sending those jewels. I gotta go find out what those jewels are. Watch, they're gonna be worth a lot of money. It's gonna turn out John's to be like, send me $100. Anyway. All right, everybody. Hey, have a great weekend. We'll talk to you next time. Make sure to like, subscribe, follow, all that good stuff. I appreciate you all. And until next time, I'm Jared with Scamware 101. Stay safe. Have a good one, everybody. Now, bear with me as I end all these live streams. It might take a minute.